Hey, hey, hey. This is my first real kind of live stream back since the 24-hour thing. Got some great stuff I want to talk about. Some things I came up with last night when speaking with a friend. And some interesting, an interesting point I just heard. And I would like to eventually share it with you guys and see what you think on it. So we'll give everybody a moment. I know it's early. I'm 2 hours late to the live stream, and I'll tell you guys why in just a minute. Why I was supposed to be here 2 hours ago, and I actually had a really nice idea. It was suggested to me that I go and do a tour of the neighborhood and take you guys on a little video tour of my neighborhood, and I had every intention of doing so today. And I want you guys to know too, this has been a big, huge thing. This has been amazing. Since the 24-hour live stream, the subscribers has gone through the... Oh my gosh, really, Evie? Wow. So sorry to have called you guys. Evie, everything's good now. I fixed it. It's solved. Funny enough, I'll get to the story in just a second, what happened. And then we'll talk a little bit more. I'm good to hear everything is okay, hon. Like I said, guys, I'm 2 hours late to the live stream, and I am sorry. I apologize. That's my fault. It's, well, sort of my... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take responsibility for that one. It was my fault. Can't blame something on someone else, even if it's... Yeah. Hey, Rusty Shackelferker. Hello, Cindy. How are you? Good to see you stopping in. Thank you for coming by. I know it's a few hours behind in Nevada. Okay, so what was happening was Butter got loose. My puppy got loose. My doggy. She's not a puppy anymore, but she's my doggy. Well, she got loose. So I spent the last 2 hours walking the neighborhood looking for her. Around the last 10 minutes of looking, these young ladies were driving around in a car and they were putting up signs. Pit bull mix, brown and white found. Please call. I called them. I'm like, hey, do you guys have my dog? And they're like, I think so. And then what happened was, I guess they were rolling around still driving in their car putting these signs up, but it turns out it wasn't Butter. It was another brown and white Pix male. And they didn't find him. And then as I was making my final lap, I took Peanut with me to go find Butter. I figured that he would be able to sniff her out a little better. And he kind of took me in the right general direction, but I think she was doing circles or something. But either way, though, as soon as I saw those young girls and they rolled off, they're putting more signs up on the corners and everything. Out of nowhere, here comes Butter. So I spent 2 hours walking around my neighborhood looking for her. So where I was supposed to start at noon, I took her out at 11:45. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take you out right before the live stream. And since then, I've been walking my neighborhood. Okay, so that's why I'm late to the live stream. This is why we're starting at about roughly 2 p.m. my time. It's probably about 8 o'clock in the UK. Nevada, you should be at about noon, 1 o'clock-ish, if I'm getting my time zones correct. I believe it's noon. And here in Central, we're at 2 o'clock Eastern time. Of course, you're at 3. And I'm not sure about Mountain time. And if it's 15 hours ahead, that means it's 7 o'clock, so Ann should be here. So we've got a good time. Well, very good. Thank you. Like I said, I've been out and on. I've lived on the West Coast for quite a while. I still have a California cell phone number. I just don't want to get rid of my cell phone number because, one, I like having a California number because I was out in California for some time. I spent a few years out there and had a great time, enjoyed myself. Bad baby, bad. Absolutely, you have no idea. I yelled at her, and then I put her in the kennel when she got in, and then I was like, oh, she's been out, she needs to drink something. So I let her give her some water, and then I put her back in the kennel, and then I yelled at her, and then she looked so sad, and I was like, I can't yell at her. So I brought her out, and I got down on my knees, and I got to get down on her level because I don't want to feel like I'm towering over her. So I got down on her level, and I was like, look, you can't run away like that. You got to stay in your yard. And she kind of looked at me like, I know, but I get distracted and I wander. I know, that's my fault. She was just being a dog. I should have been paying better attention. So it's my fault. That's why I said I can't blame the dog for wandering. It's not her fault. She was just doing doggy business. So it was me. But we found her, and those nice young ladies were nice enough to, they said they were going to keep an eye out for her. So I called them back to let them know, hey, I found my dog. Thank you guys for offering to keep an eye out while you were driving around, posting up for another dog. And you should have seen when they rolled up. I wish I could have had a picture of my face because they're like, are you looking for a little brown and white pit? I'm like, you found her? And they're like, yes, it's a male. Huh. Yes, I did. I did. I did do the 24-hour challenge. It is complete. I did a full 24-hour live stream. Now, the videos, I haven't been able to look at them yet, and I imagine that YouTube cut them off a little early. Right, absolutely. Now, so I'm looking back at it, and it looks like on the 24-hour live stream, the second 12 hours, they were only able to keep 11 hours, 45 minutes for me. And on the first one was 11 hours and 43 minutes. So it's showing that I failed by half an hour, 15 minutes each one. But in reality, I actually did do the full time. Everybody stuck around to verify. It's just that YouTube has a policy that it's either 12 hours or 128 gigs. Whichever comes first, that's the cutoff. So I hit 128 gigs on both of them. So I think it's interesting. We made a video that ran over a quarter terabyte. So that's pretty good. Or almost a quarter terabyte. But yes, I did complete it. I had a great time. It went really well. It's 20:03 in the UK. Okay, well, very good. Very good. So yeah, 6 o'clock in the UK. I was right on point. Had my numbers right. I've learned a lot of y'all's time zones, and I try to keep up with it because I know we speak so much and we're talking all the time with each other. That I try to keep my mind focused. I played a little Fortnite last night because I know I said I wasn't gonna do a video yesterday, but I didn't really want to just skip out on one, and I was kind of I want to say Fortnite seems to be my go-to lazy video when I just can't really muster it up to 8 o'clock. Yep. Did I say 6? I apologize. I meant 6 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Excuse me. 8 o'clock. So when I just can't really muster the sit down, or I don't feel like the creative juices are flowing as well as I would like, I go ahead and I just did a little Fortnite. Fortnite fever forever. We played with George last night, which was tons of fun. I stayed up wicked late playing with George. Do a 48-hour. Oh boy, Sid, you guys got to give me a break on that one. I actually was almost going to name this... well, of course, I'd love to play with you guys. I almost was going to call this video the 48-hour live stream and just see how many people would actually stop in to see if they wanted to watch me torture myself for 2 days, which you guys are a glutton for pain. It's kind of like watching a snuff video, isn't it? A couple things I came up with. Last night, I happened to be talking with a buddy, and we were talking about something, and I don't know, just out of left field, this like revelation kind of came to me, and yeah. Boy, you guys just really want me to be tortured for you. You guys are gluttons for pain when it's not your own. Again, we are playing the secret game, just a heads up, so first to get it wins. And if you're not familiar with the secret game, you'll know about it when this one is over. We went a little more harder on this one. But, so what I came up with is this. So I was talking to a buddy last night, and he was saying, sometimes I call my friend, he called Vlad, he's a friend of ours. Well, you guys know Vlad. And he was telling me, he goes, sometimes I need to call Vlad, and I go off, and he just listens, and he lets me just get it all out of my system and everything like that. And, oh, is it lagging? Oh, I apologize. Hold on, let me see if I can fix it. I don't want you to have to go, Sean. Let me see if I can do anything to fix that for you real quick. Let me take a peek at it. Oh, wonderful. We got somebody who just, well, I'm going to subscribe. That's wonderful. Somebody found my magnet fishing video, and they said, I'm sold, buying a magnet and rope, my new hobby instead of fishing this year. That's so cool. Sweet. Let me let this guy know. They just subscribed a few hours. And I get to be their first subscriber, Unknown Explorer, as they call themselves. So I'm going to go subscribe to their channel because early morning in Kentucky. Oh, and they're nearby. That's nice. That's cool. So there we go. We got Unknown Subscriber who just commented. It was wonderful enough to leave a message. And now they're interested in magnet fishing. So that's absolutely that's the cool thing. That's what I love about this. And people see the magic fishing video, and I know that it's stupid and it's titled weird, but that was the whole point of it. Let me see if I can get over this live stream, though, and make sure I fix this for you guys. So once again, do remind, for those who know, okay, well, good. Seems like everyone... Oh, I can imagine. Well, how far are you from Lake Havasu, Cindy? Is that quite a while from you? A ways away? Because I know Brad's driven a few hours. I would think Lake Havasu would be a great place to go magnet fishing with all the people that come up there for spring break and probably have like change or keys or stuff that fall in. There's probably tons of stuff in Lake Havasu. So I would imagine that would be an awesome place to go hit it up. I'd love to go back out to Nevada again. I'm not a Vegas person. Like, I kind of got over Vegas on my third time there. Is it? Okay, so you're up north by... Okay, I got you. I'm tracking like a laser. I got you. Hello, Shelly. Hello, how are you? Well, maybe you can practice, Cindy. You can practice. Just take some paper clips, throw them in your bathtub. You know what I'm saying with this? And then just, you know, that'll work for now. Just to get some experience, a little under your belt. That's just a joke. Or maybe a swimming pool, you know. So, let's see. So anyway, so this thing I was talking about with my buddy and I was telling him, I said, you know, man, I was like, it's kind of like this. It's like when you take a stick and you bend a stick and you feel the stick getting pressure built up and then it snaps. That snap, though, is not a bad thing. That snapping is the releasing of the pressure. So when you apply tension to someone, they're building up this pressure. And sometimes you just got to vent it to somebody so it doesn't build up and the pressure hurts. When the snap happens, it's release. It's a release of tension and pressure. And it's good. You know, if the stick had feelings, it would probably feel better after the snap because you're no longer putting it under strain and pressure. So I just kind of related to him. It was kind of, they were like, wow, that's kind of deep. See, some people are saying they're having bad connection. I'm looking at my server and it says I'm streaming in wonderful quality. It's at least it says it is. Let me see if I can make any adjustments. No, I'm sorry, guys. It must be your end. I do apologize. I do not have a sailboat. I don't have a boat, though. No, I wish I did. Well, good. I apologize, though, for those who are getting bad connection. I'm so sorry. But, yeah, I'm looking at it over here on my end. And what you guys are seeing, it shows me here. I'll just give you guys a quick rundown. So you see right there, it shows me what you guys see. And it looks good on my end. So I apologize if you're coming in a little broken. There, good connection in Colorado. Wunderbar. Das ist gut, ja. Again, for those who don't know, we are playing the secret game still. It's still on, so we're just waiting for the first one to win it. As we do on the daily with the video streams, we have the secret game. For those who aren't familiar with the secret game, you're not expected to play yet. But you will be the next time if you're here this time. You'll be expected to be, and I'm not supposed to remind you guys of the secret game. But it's still kind of new. Get a boat. I'd love to get a boat. I have a jet ski. I do have a jet ski. I have a 650 Kawasaki jet ski. So it's nice and fast. It's about 40, 50 miles an hour on the water. It's one of the older ones, so it's a flat bottom. So they didn't give a damn about safety, and that's what I wanted. I wanted the faster ones. So you can get that thing and just cut it, and it will eject you. Hardcore. Lake Mead? Okay. Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah, Jay. I was up yesterday. Actually, it was on... Hello, Nathan. I was actually online for 3 hours yesterday, Joe, playing some Fortnite with George and a few other people. We picked up tons of subscribers, guys. I can't believe it. I was stuck in the 1330s for so long, and in the last 2 days, it jumped up like you wouldn't believe, guys. I'm getting close to that 1400 mark. So that's exciting. I haven't had this kind of subscription growth, that large of a subscription. One more time in English. I haven't had that large of a subscription growth in such a short amount of time ever. So that was amazing that I was able to pull that one off, and I thank everybody who helped out with that and has been sharing, liking, subscribing. So what else? There was something else. I just heard this, and I thought it was an amazing, and I loved it, and I wanted to talk a little bit about this today. Someone I just heard said that competition breeds excellence. Competition breeds excellence. And I think that's very true. I think that is very, very true. I think that when people are competing, but not so much like in a gladiator sort, but when you compete against each other, it makes you want to push harder. At least for me, if I see someone who can outdo me, I want to push harder to be equal to them, on par. Now, for instance, for instance, I give you a real world scenario. Nope, give them trophies. I used to run a PT test, and I was a pretty fast runner for a PT test for a bigger guy. And I'll never forget one time one of my officers, he was a second lieutenant, was running the PT test, and I was ahead of him for the last half mile, and he came running up behind me, and he was like, "Whoa, Greenbaum, what are you doing up here? I didn't expect to see you near the front." And I was like, "Hey, I'm just, I keep a good pace, and I'm good at opening the legs nice and wide. I like to think like a gazelle. I think like a gazelle when I run. Nice long legs. If you're going to waste energy to open your legs, get the most stride out of it you can, and that will give you more distance and less energy consumed per distance used." So I was really good at doing running, and about the competition, he goes, "Well, let's try to race it out till the end." Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I never stood a chance, and I'm not going to say that it's anything, but I want to go with this. He was a native African who had come to America. He was a runner. He was a runner. And he could run so hard and so fast. So I tried to keep up with him the last half mile of the 2-mile run. And I did pretty good for about a quarter mile. And finally, I just pooped out. But you know what, though? The next time the PT test came around, it always made me want to push myself at that last little bit to finish strong. And I always tried to do that. Even if I was exhausted, I used to call it emptying the tanks. I would empty my tanks. So whatever energy, I'm running, tired, but I can see the finish line. That's the point where I would just say, screw it, and I would just go back into a full dead-on sprint, regardless of how I felt. I know it hurts. You just got to make your mind realize, I know it hurts and it sucks, but you're going to do it anyway. And I would make myself do it. And always in the back of my mind was the shadow version of my lieutenant running next to me. And I would always try to race him in my mind. And even in my mind, I would lose. But that's okay because I was always pushing myself. And I was able to push my time down to 13 minutes. So I was able to cut about 1.5 minutes off my regular time after that one by constantly pushing myself. So through that spirit of competition and wanting to keep up with my lieutenant, I bettered myself. It didn't better him. I bettered me. And it was because of competition that was able to come into fruition, was because I pushed myself to be like somebody who I looked up to in an aspect. And I looked up to him. He was a great lieutenant, without a doubt. I wish I could find it. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I can see his face. I can hear his laugh. He was such a nice guy. I got along great with all my lieutenants, all my officers. I never had an issue with any of them. I was always just doing my thing, and they knew I worked hard, so it wasn't anything. So, well, good. I'm glad but it meant something to him. And I heard somebody say that, and I was like, boy, that is the epitome of truth, isn't it, though? Competition breeds excellence. And when you take away the competitions, no, it wasn't Bolt. Boy, there was a guy in my AIT, though, Joe. His name was, and I'll never forget him for the rest of my life, his name was Kenneth Ndola. Ndola. I don't know if he, maybe not Kenneth, I don't know. That might have not been real. Anyway, his name was Ndola. And he was also from Africa. He was from Kenya. And dear God, man, this kid could fly. Like, when he ran, he would say to me, he's like, I wasn't even trying. And I believe him. And he would come in at like 12 minutes on a 2-mile, 6-minute miles, no problem. The best I ever did was a 6.5-minute mile. Boy, that kid was flying, though. Or 6-minute mile was the best I did, and then I did, yeah. Boy, that kid was flying. Well, thank you for stopping in.
I appreciate you. Bye. It's always nice to see you. Allegedly.
I don't know anybody in Alexandria, Kentucky. So, I'm sorry I got a phone call there. I had to decline it. I don't know who these people are. Bad connection. There we go. Okay. So that was just something I was just thinking about. But and some really cool officers that are really nice guys. and gals, really nice people, I should say, because I had some officers that were really cool, and they were like, I didn't get to hang out with officers a lot because you're really not supposed to. It's the rules. We're not supposed to intermingle with our officers, and NCOs, sergeants, aren't really supposed to hang out with lower enlisted. But that's kind of retarded. Is how do you build team trust if we all can't go over to an NCO's house for a beer barbecue? And that was routine. Always come on over to the house, guys. We're gonna barbecue. Come grab some food. And that's what we always would do. Oh, man. It's tough. I was not a runner. Fraternizing with enlisted men. Yeah, you're not supposed to. Didn't stop me. I went surfing with one of my NCOs. I went surfing with a captain. But it was just like, well, we had nothing better to do. And I was like, come on, sir, let's go hang out. Let's go surf. He's like, I was like, shut up, dude. Just come on. I don't want to talk. I'm not Specialist or Sergeant Greenbaum. I'm just Jeremy right now, dude. I'm sorry if you're still experiencing bad connection. Try backing out, Tim, and then come back in and close the whole stream out and then just rejoin us and see if that corrects it a little bit. So I hate that you're having a bad connection. I'm so sorry. If it is going to be a bad connection for you, feel free not to hang out. I understand. You can always come back later. And Tim, I know that you won't be able to comment, but at least you'll be able to hear the talking points and everything like that. And maybe when there's a better connection, because there's a really bad storm on the East Coast right now, I heard, that's really kind of rocking things. So I don't know if that would interfere with signal, or if maybe there's a relay there that's like maybe for the relay to the UK, because it is underwater cable. So I don't know if maybe that's what's going on. It's possible. So it's just got to be, it seems like you guys are just having issues overseas, maybe because it's peak time. Oh, hello, Kevin. How are you? Good to see you stopping in, man. I was planning on coming by your live stream on your next one. Kind of felt bad for a little bit of the way I reacted. But it was my own, I don't know. Maybe I took things too personally, but with somebody being, I should have stopped following your stuff, but it kind of just upset me for a minute, and I wanted to step back before I said anything that I would regret, and I wanted to give myself some time to really think about, was it really worth being upset about? And it turns out it's not. So I apologize for that, Kevin, and I thank you for coming by a live stream to hang out, man. I really do. So we did the 24-hour marathon stream. Yes, that was a lot of fun. I want you guys to know we did hit our goal. We hit the goal. We had over 1,000 views for the 24-hour stream, and we hit our goal of 100 thumbs up. So that was wonderful. It's sunny right now on the East Coast. I was hearing down by Florida that there was supposed to be a big weather coming in or something along those lines. That's going to affect me a little bit more. Oh, absolutely. Well, I go to Tom. Is Tom live right now? Because I'll bounce back and forth. Gary, hello, Tom. How are you? Where's Gary? Not where's Gary at, Joe. It's where's Gary. Where is Gary? The at is a preposition. You don't need it at this end of the sentence because we can take the word where is Gary and it still makes complete total sense. But if you say where is Gary at is extra. We really don't need it. So we don't end a sentence in a preposition. So we're going to work on that. And I do my best too. I'm guilty of it. And if I ever do it, I want you guys to catch me too and say, you did it too. You're not supposed to put at the end of a sentence. It's not the proper use of the term of the word. Oh, there you go. I've been doing that. English was my thing in high school. I straight A's all through high school. But English was like, I think I had 100 all through high school. Math was my weakest subject. It was the only reason I didn't get a 4.0 was because one year I had a little bit difficult of math and I was graded oddly on a test that I took for typing, and that pushed me down to a 3.95, which pissed me off to no end that I didn't get the 4.0 in high school. And that was all 4 years. I maintained 4.0 all through 4 years until the last year where I nailed a 3.95 because of a typing test. At which location is Gary? That's perfect. At which location is Gary? And if you take the word at out of that one, which location is Gary makes no sense. at which location is Gary makes total sense. There you go. Prepositions and stuff. So anyway, what do we got going on today? Like I said, I was going to take you guys on a neighborhood tour today, as some of you have been requesting that I walk around my neighborhood and show off or go for a ride. We'll do that, I think, really soon when Evie gets back. We'll do the ride around, and we'll just go show you my town. We'll spend a day driving around Clarksville and showing it off to you guys, because I'm very proud of my town. We'll go by the military post. We'll go by, we'll go see some soldiers or something. We'll go hang out with some soldiers. Well, actually, you're hanging out with one almost right now, and I always have Laddie and Calvin, and all my friends are ex-soldiers, so you guys hang out with soldiers. But we'll get some cats in uniform to come over and say hi. My buddy just got back from Iraq. He should be back this week from Iraq, so I'm very excited to have him home. I haven't seen him in over a year. That's the thing about it is, though, and it happens all the time. Well, no, we can't go to the airport to pick them up. They land on a military base. They land on the base, and unfortunately, the Army doesn't want me there anymore, so I have to go get a special pass to go on. So it's not really worth it. Plus, his wife is going to be there with his babies, and I don't want to interfere. Give him time to get home, see his wife, his kids, give him a few days to settle in. And then I'm going to get a hold of him, and I'm going to go buy him a beer. I'm going to bring him a 6-pack. Welcome him home. And but honestly, I know that if I never had a family when I got back, whenever I got back from my deployments, and I know this sounds kind of odd, and I'm not trying to pull at a heartstring or anything, but it was just interesting is that when we would land, you spent a year with some of these men, and you're like really close and friends with them, but the second you land, and it's at no fault of their own, but as soon as you land, they don't care anymore. And their families are there, and you see everyone separating to their families, and then you'd see the single guys, myself and other people, and we'd start huddling together, and we're like, hey, so what do you guys want to do? You know, because I just spent a year with these people, if not more, and I don't know what to do without you guys. Everything I've done has been with you. Oh, whoa, that's no good, Tom. So it was just interesting, and I told the guys on the second trip around, I said, listen, when we get back, I was like, you know, say hellos, goodbyes to your people, but I'll meet you guys over here in the corner when we'll figure out what we're gonna do. And everyone was like, yeah, whatever. And I sat in the corner for a minute by myself, hanging out, and before you know it, you started seeing the guys start trickling over towards me. And I'd be like, well, all right, what's up? Hey, it's all good. What do you guys want to do? Should we go get a bite to eat? What are we doing? That was the trip we wound up running to Vegas. And I broke so many company rules that morning because we weren't supposed to leave post. We weren't supposed to go past bars to a certain time. We were definitely not supposed to drink that weekend. And I took all those rules, and they went out on the 15 somewhere in the desert between Primm and Baker. So, yeah. And for those who are in California, or maybe Cindy who's near Nevada, she'll understand. Oh, well, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you coming by. How are you, hun? It was a motivation so much to have you coming by the streams and helping out and just talking with me to keep me going. You're absolutely motivated. See? Sandy knows what I'm talking about. Or Cindy. I'm so sorry, Cindy. There's actually, Cindy, do you know where that Big Boys is? Right outside of Baker with the world's tallest thermometer. It was my first time ever being able to go to a real Big Boys burger restaurant, so we stopped in there. I have a nice picture of that giant thermometer, and then we also stopped at the Alien Hot Sauce place, and I bought my Satan's Blood hot sauce from there. And you know what, though? I want to say this. I took some, when I came to Fort Campbell, I transported the hot sauce with me. And, I took it to post so that some people could try it. And I was riding my motorcycle back with it in my backpack, and the lid opened. This stuff was so hot, spicy, crazy hot, Satan's blood, that it ate through my military-grade backpack by the time I got home. It had eaten a hole. And I made the mistake of when I got home, I was like, oh no, so I reached in to grab all my stuff out. Got it all over my hands. Instant burning. And what do? Oh no. And I got it on my face. I'm trying to wipe it off. My face was on fire for 4 days. 4 days of pure fire through PT. When I would sweat, I could feel it get hotter and more intense. It was insane. Satan's blood. There is no reason. I love hot sauces. And if you guys ever go back and watch my 911 hot sauce tests, I tried, I think it was a dozen hot sauces all at once. My dad bought me this thing. It was called Hot Sauces of the Southwest. And there's some amazing hot sauces, and I love it. And I tried each one. I'm like, okay, that would go with eggs. That would go with this. And those are enjoyable. But this level of heat to hot sauce is unnecessary. There is no reason why something should be this hot. And for those who are saying, well, Jeremy, how hot was it? I will be happy to tell you how many Scovilles there were to it. It was 6 million Scovilles concentrate. 6 million. There is no reason. And when I did use it, though, I would use the Satan's blood, but very, very rarely. And it was usually like a beep in my eggs, or I would put 2 drops in my pot of chili. Now, once you did that and diluted it enough, it had a nice taste. It was a nice spiciness. But then the heat, there's a difference between spicy taste and heat. It had a nice spicy taste. Nice and spicy. Kind of like the Mad Dog 357 I have. That one's good. I like it. It actually came with this little tasting spoon so that you could give people a little taste. I wind up losing it, but I used it several times for people. You know, of course I washed it after every use. But, yeah, the Satan's blood, there's no reason for anything to be that hot. 6 million Scoville, there's no reason. No reason whatsoever. If you ever do find a bottle, if you see the bottle, you'll know you found it because it'll look like a genie bottle. You know what? Let me see if I can bring it up. I want you guys to see the bottle. Satan's blood sauce. Hot sauce. Yeah, there she blows. Yeah. I want to show you guys the picture of it. There you go. Hold on 2 seconds. Yeah, it's on Amazon for sure. You can. I found it right off this website for $15 though. But this is the stuff. Oh, is that 800,000? Was it? Oh, it says 800,000. Well, this one says 800,000 Scoville. So I'm remembering the bottle I bought was quite much more expensive than this. So what I'm thinking is there might be different brands, kind of how like 357 has different ones as well. And I must have gotten a different one, but the bottles seem to be the same. But mine was a 6 million Scoville. And I think when you read it, it's made out of, I think they make it out of 800,000 Scoville chilies. But once you extract that from 800 million, it gets down to, it's a 6 million Scoville total. I know that when you open up the pan, I remember seeing 6 million inside of it. And I generally have a good memory for things like that. So I'm thinking that it was made from either 800 or there's a second brand, maybe a stronger one. And I remember I paid like 40 for mine, and it was like retarded hot. But that looks just the same bottle. Thick as anything, guys. Thick as anything. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was 800,000. Regardless, it's retarded hot. It's retarded hot. A jalapeno, I believe, is around 2,000 Scovilles. So you're looking at 400,000 times, or not 400,000, 400 times stronger than a, no, it would be 200 times stronger than a jalapeno. That's my math. Why was my math off? I need to go to the bat cave and recharge. Hold on. You saw nothing. Nothing. Okay. We'll be okay. Hold on. Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for choking. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry.
Okay. We're good now. I feel happy. Have you guys ever seen the movie Life of Brian? I was talking to Daniel. Oh, by the way, what's today? Can someone hit me up with the date real quick? I think it's what, the 5th, the 8th, the 6th. I go pick up Sip next week at the airport. Can't understand why chilies do these peppers, Batman. It's a spicy, mind-blowing mystery, Robin. I pick up Sip on Monday. I go pick him up on the 12th. And, shh, I don't want you guys to let out the cat out of the bag. So if we see him and he jumps in the live stream, don't tell him. Don't tell him yet. I feel happy. There's Gary. Gary. So, Gare Bear. Hey, man. I think I convinced Sip to move back to Tennessee. I had to hit him, and it was an hour of nonstop. You're doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it. And then I had to present reasonings and evidence. And then it came down to not only as a friend do I want him back here, I said, but as your Jewish friend finance advisor, it only makes economical sense for you to be here with me. I was like, so I think I convinced him. Every time he threw a point at me, well, I want to be up here for this. I'm like, well, with the amount of rent that you'll be saving just in cost alone, you'll be able to afford to go there for that. He was telling me, he said, dude, I want to go to New Hampshire, dude, because every year, dude, the fish that come up here, go fishing. We could go fishing, dude. And I was like, okay, Sip, so you're saying that once a year the fish come up in this area and it's wicked good fishing? And he's like, yeah, dude, not for nothing. I said, okay, Sip, once a year you can fly up here, stay in a place, rent the car, whatever. The cost difference of what it cost in 1 month's rent will pay for that whole trip. Almost one whole trip. And I was like, dude, you got to do it. It only makes sense. And he was like, oh, dude, yeah, dude, I didn't think of that, dude. And he goes, then I told him about it. I was like, I want a boat. I want to take his boat and boat all the way up the river to Nashville and back one day. It's been a dream of mine to always do that. I don't know why. It's a stupid thing. But I just thought it would be fun. I've seen the trip to Nashville via road hundreds of times to the point of where I know what trees to look for. But I've never taken the river that far. And I thought it would be fun to do. And now that like I have some people that for some reason you guys like to watch me, I would put that up there for you because I think that would be interesting if we just put a, R down the river, forward, that way. Yeah. Well, you know what, though? I don't think to be honest, though, I don't think Huck Finn went down the river with Tom Sawyer. No, I mean, Huckleberry Finn. I think that was Big Jim who did, if I'm remembering my Mark Twain correctly. I do like, though, the episode of Family Guy where Chris is playing Huckleberry Finn and he meets up, or he's Tom Sawyer and Peter, and he meets up with Chris and he goes, "What are you doing here, Tom Sawyer? I'm here to see Rush. They wrote a song about me." Today's Tom Sawyer. Good song about. Now, too, I'm really getting a little disappointed here. You guys know that you're supposed to look for the secret game we always play, and nobody's playing. You have to know. Well, they said after a long career like that, it was a hell of a rush, and it was only well-deserved. Oh. I'm going to have to remind you guys every time about the secret game until this finally just... You guys get in the habit of trying to beat each other to it. We're trying to get that healthy competition going. Because it's going to breed excellence. And we want to breed excellence. Queen. No Queen. Not Queen. It's one of my favorite songs. I should have said that. That's a hint. It is a song today. I'll give you category today is a song. It is a song today. I think next time I'm going to do a quote from a famous scientist, and then you guys are going to have to guess the scientist. But I'll give you what category of science they're in, so it's at least easier to narrow down. Like if we do physics or medicine, I'll give you that. But today's secret game is a song. So if you can't find the clue, please try to find the clue to the secret song. It's the same place I put the clue every day. Maybe I'll just start doing that, hiding it somewhere in the live stream, just in view. Barely in view. That's what I'm going to start doing. No more hiding it. And we're going to do that after that. That's even better. That's going to be even better. What we need to do, guys, is we all need to get a Monopoly. They call me Mellow Yellow Donovan. I call Mellow Yellow, not Mellow Yellow, Mountain Dew. I call Mountain Dew redneck water. With no, I mean, no one says, it's just, that's what I call it. Because, boy, people who love their Mountain Dew love their Mountain Dew. And it's just, wow. Mozilla? No Mozilla. And there's a funny story. No, that's not the secret song then. That's not the secret song. Now, this is kind of like zombies. I hid the piece of a meteorite. Oh, I unlocked the secret song. So, yeah, so you guys got to get, I mean, it's not difficult. That's all Google gave me, Mozilla. What did you put in? Oh, okay. Well, very nice. Tell them I said hello, Tom. What did you put in for the secret song? Oh, good. Then it's hard to remember. Then this is a good one. Oh, good. I got a line from the secret song is going to be a hard one today. Yay. I guess if that's what it's coming up with, it could be, but it's not. That's not what I was going for. So, just what you wrote is the title of the video. It's going to take a little more digging. You're going to have to think. I'll give you I'll do this. Oldies. It's an oldies. It's one of my favorite songs, and I have a great story for it. But you can't have it until you get it. I gotta shave the beard. It's getting a little fluffy, huh? Getting a little fluffy. I'm starting to look like a Maccabee. The eyes are uber green today. They change color. Are they green today or are they blue? I can't tell. They're bluish green almost. Yeah, that was creepy. Saw my own eyeball moving back and forth. They change color. Usually if I wear darker colored clothing, I can make my eyes turn green. If I wear lighter colored clothing, I can make them turn blue. It's just with the pigment in it. But green is the most rare eye color. They do. I can change the color of my eyes. It just depends on what I wear and what the weather is. If it's a bright sunny day like this, for some reason they get really deep green, and I think that's because the way the light is exposing to the eyes and the pigment or something. I don't know. And then sometimes they can go to a light baby blue. Purple is a color, and I do have yellow in my eye. There's yellow all around the iris of my eye, which is kind of cool. I like it because it looks like an eclipse happening in the middle of my eye all the time. So I don't know. It's just cool. I'll have to get a good picture of it to show you guys. But there's a ring of yellow around my iris on my eye, and then it's usually green or blue. And if the blue comes in, then the yellow kind of goes away. But green is the most rare eye color in the world. Dimples are one of the most rare traits in the world, along with a cleft chin. I have the eyes. I have the dimples. I have double dimples. I have two on this side, one over here. You can't see it, but it's there, trust me. And the cleft. So I don't know how it worked out that I caught all these. And it doesn't mean special. It's just a rare trait. It's just rare, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't happen a lot. But to have them all is interesting. This is why I need to go to Mars, people. This is why I need to go to Mars. I don't know why they're wasting time. Just send me now. I guess you'd have to send Daniel on the second mission. No, David, it is not. It is not. There it is. Natalisa got it. Natalisa got it. Oh, I'm so happy she got it today. Natalisa got it. Lightning is striking. You're a Google master. That's what I'm talking about, Lisa. She pulled it out. Zing! Out of left field, she takes a swing for the fence with the eyes closed and makes contact home run. Good stuff, Natalisa. Lisa, Mona Lisa, smile. Making coffee. Good stuff. Wow, somebody got it. Okay, so the little story that goes with it. Oh, isn't he though? I love that high pitchedness he does. Every boy wants a girl he can love for all of time. If he can, I can't even do it. But if she's giving me a sign and she's built well fine, I can't stop, I can't stop myself. There you go. That's the line. Stop. I can't stop myself. Stop. I can't stop myself. Lightning. Oh, that's such a good song. Now, the story of it is I used to be a kid. My parents would make me go to bed. And I never, when I listened to music when I was probably up until about 14, all I ever turned on was the oldie station. So when my parents would make me go to bed, I would get my Walkman out. And it had a radio. And I would tune it into the oldie station to stay up, to listen, to wait for that song. I wouldn't go to bed until the oldies station played that song. And I did that for several months. Yeah, I recovered. Okay, I'm like you gotta be like a tennis ball and not like an egg. You gotta be able to bounce back from things. You want to be able to bounce. You want to be able to take it and bounce back. That's resilience. The Gypsy Cried. Oh, there's so many great oldie songs that I just enjoy. Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm those lonely nights. I need you, baby, trust in me when I say. What's another good? I don't know. I just like, there's oldie songs that are just so awesome, and that's why they're still being played in songs and movies today. No one's going to play Justin Bieber in anything in 10 years. They're still going to rock Metallica. They're still going to play Ozzy. Songs like that are always going to be used. That's just the way it goes. That's the way she goes. Sometimes she goes, sometimes she doesn't. That's the way she goes. Sid should get that one. Chaser. It's not water, it's vodka. You guys, I don't drink vodka. Easiest way to tell, though, if anyone has a difference between water and vodka in a water bottle, the simplest way to tell. I actually had to teach my drill sergeants this in AIT because they said, is that vodka in the bottle? I said, no, drill sergeant. Look, if you shake water, the bubbles dissipate quickly. Vodka will not. He was like, thank you, Private. And I was like, yeah, too easy, drill sergeant. Why waste time? Don't need to open every bottle and smell it. Just give it a good shake. There you go. That was just easy stuff like that. And that was when I was in trouble because I got caught drinking in AIT. So I was in trouble for drinking, and I was giving my drill sergeant tips on how to catch people drinking. You know, if you guys would just apply a little common sense, this would be a lot easier. Georgie boy, how are you? Good to have you stopping in. Oh, I haven't done this in a while, and we haven't had the update. So I want to give you guys an update on something. I'm excited. I'm so happy about this. Like, this is like, I can't believe it. You guys have done it. You've broken the almost the monopoly on the channel. Hold on 2 seconds. Let me get to it because this is like, I nearly got so excited. You guys have knocked the United States down, finally, out of the top 50% of my viewership. The UK people is coming on strong. They like their Jay Greenbaum, and I like you guys. But you guys have come on wicked strong. You guys are now 36%. You are only 11% away from bumping the United States. 400 million people, I don't know how many are in the UK, are pushing the United States out. And that's cool. Now, Canada did drop a bit down to 3.2%, with Australia coming in at 3%. And our good friends Tom and Bub over in the Netherlands, I believe, are picking up that 2.6. Because you got class. You guys are classy. When in doubt, pinky out. And I love it. That's what I'm talking about. You guys over are I can't thank you guys enough. If anything, I'm kind of more excited that it's the UK because it's not that I don't have love for my American people, because I love my country to death. I'm an absolute patriot of my homeland. But because I have family and not just Brad because of that, his name is Bob. Bub? Well, I'm going to call him Bub because we call people, hey, Bub. B-U-B is Bub, so he's Bub to me. And, well, I've always wanted to visit England. It would be a dream of mine to be able to come over to hang out someday. I always wanted to go around Christmas time to look for Doctor Who because that's usually when he's in London. And it only makes sense that if you go to London around Christmas time, you have a better than average chance, if the Doctor is real, spotting him then. So that's when I would love to go visit. However, I would never limit myself to and or just Christmas time. But it would be a dream of mine to run around the streets of London Christmas to look for the Doctor. And, of course, make a video of it. That would be awesome. Is it stupid? Is it, yeah, I know it's not real, but I don't care. I want to do it. I want to look for the Doctor, and I want people to ask me, what in the hell are you doing? And when I do something stupid like that, I legitimately try to find him. If you're doing something like that and you're not putting your heart into it, then it's just half-assing it and you're wasting time. So if I went to London to look for a fictional character with zero chance of finding him, I'm going to try hard. Because other than that, it's just stupid then. I don't know. That's just me. Maybe it's still stupid. I don't know. I'll say this too, though. It's looking interesting. I used to have this thing. For those who are creators also on YouTube, the traffic source, I pay attention to the numbers. I love watching the numbers. And they have percentages, and that's my favorite numbers is percentages. I love percentages. So I liked it that, I don't know why, but that's just, I like percentages. But, so the traffic sources have been, it used to be wicked one way, but now it's starting to kind of even out for notifications and browse and suggestions. It's all kind of starting to mellow the right way. I don't know where this other, what that means, but, other than that, that's okay. Bah, a little play on words, but I got the other. Okay, that was stupid.
No, don't make stupid jokes like that, Jeremy.
Well, I'm sorry, Cleveland.
No, it's all right. Nobody's going to bother you about it.
I feel better now. Thank you. I got to work on my book. I got to work on my ventriloquism. Everything, I don't know what's going on YouTube lately. It's just kind of like things are falling together nicely. And it's like, wait, when did this start getting not to be so much of a hassle? When did it start just becoming so much fun to do and enjoyable? And I think it was when we started doing live streams, probably in the last month or so. This daily thing has been really great. It's been a lot of fun. I've been looking forward to it every day. And I think it's nice. It gives me something to look forward to, because I'm not going to lie to you. Trying to figure out what to do with being retired at 30, I retired at 29 years old. It's really odd. It's a very unique situation, and I didn't know what to do with myself. And this has been something that's been a really good outlet for me. It makes me feel comfortable. I get this awesome interaction with people from around the world who seem to be like-minded, sort of like myself. And even if we're not, that's okay. You know, whatever. I sometimes put different batteries in the remote control. You know, like I make a Duracell and a copper top be together and make them work, and guess what? They do. And they're different, and they may have been rivals, but when they get down to the job, they can handle it together. So yeah, or AC Delco and dollar store ones, you make them work together, and maybe one's not as good as the other, but they'll work it out. I'm talking about batteries getting along. What do you guys let me get into? Oh, absolutely, Tom. Please say hi to her. I don't know how to say it exactly in your language, but I would imagine if it's close to German, Guten Tag, Guten Abend, Guten Sie Morgen, whatever time it works out. Guten Sie Abend. Abend, if I'm saying it correctly. I may be Americanizing my German a little bit. But du verstehen ja. Guten Tag. Hasta luego. Hello, David. Guten Wand. Guten Abend. Guten Abend. Ah, I think I'm saying that right. If I'm getting, I can't move so quickly. Guten Abend. Guten Abend. Guten Abend. Ah, danke schön, bitte. Danke. Wunderbar. YouTube did it again. Back at it again with me and a friend. Did you ring the bell, David? Have you hit the notification bell? Have you done that? It's not enough just to subscribe. You got to ring the bell. I can hear the bells. Every time someone says that on YouTube, I hear that song in my head. Oh. What song is that from? Does anybody know that one? I know it wasn't much to work with, but... Well, you know I'm here generally every day between the hours. Sometime we always start between noon and 2. That's the general rule of thumb. Hairspray. Wow, Natalisa's hitting it 2 for 2 today. Another one of my favorite musicals, Hairspray. Good stuff, Natalisa. Wow, Lisa's so fast on those. You must be into, like, are you into theater or performance or anything like that, Lisa? Guten Tag. Ja, das ist gut. You're good at music trivia? Oh, very good, very good. Oh, I've always been, I've been a performer most of, I've done quite a bit of performancing in my life, and I don't know, I was always into performance, as you can tell. It doesn't show, I know. I don't know, I just always thought of things in a weird way, and when I was a kid, I used to put on puppet shows when we lost power, and what I did was I would take a blanket, and I had bunk beds, and I would run the blanket down the bunk beds, and then I would take my flashlight and put it behind the bunk beds, and I would sit in the back with dolls or something like that, and cast a shadow onto the screen, and I'd have my parents sit on the other side, and I'd do a puppet show or a show. You know, it was something to do when the lights went out. It was fun. It was fun. Maybe I'll do one for you guys someday. I haven't done that in forever. That'd be fun. I'd have to go get toys, though. I'd have to go to the store and buy toys, because I'm not going to open up my toys. No, no, no. I'm not opening my toys. I'm going to keep them nicely in the box. That reminds me of an episode of Cat Dog, for those who remember the TV show on Nickelodeon, Cat Dog. It was Mean Bob's. And I'll never forget, we'll get to it in just a second, because there was a UK reference in that episode, and it was one of my favorites. And there was these toys that came out that were called Mean Bob's, and you had to get them all. And so Dog got his Mean Bob, and he opened it and was playing with it and broke toys, got it all beat up. But Cat was saving his Mean Bob dolls and keeping them and everything like that. And I will never forget, there was, in the episode, he ordered one from the UK, and it finally came on, and it was the Mean Bob, the UK Mean Bob Bobby Bob. And it was the character, but dressed in a British police officer. So it was the Mean Bob Bobby Bob is what it was. Sorry, don't know what happened. But anyway, that stuck out to me. And then at the end of the episode, the values of Mean Bob's bottomed out, and he couldn't get any money for him when it was time to sell his collectibles. I have no intention of selling mine, but then he was able to trade all his Mean Bobs in for one Evil Eric doll. And Dog said, "Are you going to open yours?" And Cat said, "No, I think I'll keep it in the box." And I don't know. I always thought that was cool. One fun day with a wolf and a purr, a baby was born, caused a little stir. No green lizard, no three-eyed frog, was a feline canine, little cat dog, cat dog, cat dog. Alone in the world was a little cat dog, out on the road or back in town. All kinds of critters putting cat dog down. Gotta walk together, gotta learn to get along. Gotta walk together, gotta sing this song. Cat dog, cat dog. Alone in the world was a little cat dog. Great show. Rocco's Modern. All the old Nickelodeon cartoons were freaking stellar, dude. Out of this world. Wasn't all this other stuff that they have on like they have on now. It's not the same. Of course I bought toys for myself. Hold on. Come on, Lisa. We're gonna go for a trip in my favorite rocket ship to my toy room. You're going to have to come with me for a moment. We're going upstairs to my toy room. So, let's see. Here's some of my toys. I've got Dumbledore, and then I've got the Harry Potters. No, not those kind of toys. Get your mind out of the gutter. I've got my Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel, and Buffy. Got some Hot Wheels toys. I'm always adding. I got so much more stuff to put up too. Some of those toys. My Wolverine poster. These are moon slides from 1970 from the moon landing. Those aren't toys, but you get my Legos, Game of Thrones, some Batman, Futurama, Simpsons, my giant whoopee cushion, more Legos. This is my guest room, spare room, my comic books that I made Ash cry because all these comic books were sealed and I was opening them one by one. These are all like from the 80s and 90s. It was making Ash cry, so I put one aside and didn't open it, but I was thinking about maybe like burning one just to watch Ash freak out. Like burning old comic books. I think that would be a funny video. And then I've got all my video game stuff, which, guys, by the way, we got the Sega CD. I got the Sega CD. I forgot to tell you guys. It's been donated. And then we picked up this game. If you guys don't know, this game has amazing soundtracks. And then I got all my toys. These are the stuff I like. These are my game systems. I've got the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advanced, the PSP, Atari, top-loading NES, Super Nintendo 2, Sega Genesis 1 model. I have a 2 and a 3 model under there, as well as another PlayStation and another Nintendo 64. Got the GameCube, the Nintendo 64, of course, with Ocarina of Time sitting ready to go. I've got my original PlayStation, my custom PlayStation 2, I've got my original Xbox and a original NES system. And then I've got all this junk to go with it. All the games and accessories and all the cool stuff. I'm sure this one's straight. I forgot I did. I just picked up Skate or Die 2, and I haven't even played it yet. I need to do that, because this was my favorite Skate or Die game. What was the other one I just picked up? Somebody was playing that one. I don't know, I always pick it up. You have an Atari as well? Ooh, look at that. That was one of the best Zelda games ever. My Atari games, this was my favorite game as a kid, and I was dominating at it. Mega Mania. So I saw it in the store, and I had to buy it. And let's see, I've got Donkey Kong for Atari, but I've also got Donkey Kong on ColecoVision. So if you remember ColecoVision, I don't have my ColecoVision machine anymore. I sold it. I told you guys I had Porky's. You had the Sega Master System, the handheld one. That was we called those the Game Gears or the Nomad. We had two. We had a Nomad, and there's Attack of the Rotten Killer Tomatoes, beefsteak tomatoes, and of course you have to have Pac-Man. Who doesn't have Pac-Man? This is one of my favorite games. Wicked hard to play, but so much fun. Very in-depth. This is more in-depth than you should have in a Sega Genesis game. Like, you have to apply power to the shields in a percentage measure. You have to put power to... You have to manage the power of the ship like you're Scotty, diverting power to different parts of the ship as needed. And do repairs and all that. It's awesome. We've got Evie got a new Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen game. Of course, the Dreamcast. I still have to get a Dreamcast. All the Game Boy games down there. No ET for Atari. You know what? The local game store had it, but he had it in a 3-pack called The Worst Video Games of All Time. And it was Superman on Nintendo 6. Oh, and there's, of course, my Mario. And then I collect, of course, I was telling you guys about the Black Diamonds. So... this is almost a complete collection. I've got the 101 Dalmatians, Alice in Wonderland, Fox and the Hound, Jungle Book, Dumbo, Aladdin, Robin Hood, Great Mouse Detective, The Rescuers Down Under, Sword in the Stone, Bambi, Beauty and the Beast, and then these are my duplicates. I trade, trying to get more. There's Rocky, 20th Anniversary Edition of Rocky. Evie's got some of her movies here on VHS. I still love watching VHS. Amazing stuff. So this is my toy room, my game room, my collectibles room. This is my, when I got to meet Gary Sinise, Lieutenant Dan, and he was nice enough to give me an autograph to Jeremy, thank you. Got some Nolan Ryan baseball card. If you guys don't know who Nolan Ryan was, he was the pitcher of the 90s, Animal up there. And I got this nice cool 1950s Disney poster. Have you seen the Nickelodeon figures by Kidbot? I have not. No, this isn't even a man cave because this is Evie's room too. And then I have my records that I collect. I collect records. Beach Boys. I collect collections. Oh, my Sonic fell. That's not good. Sonic 2 fell down. We don't want to lose that. And there's a cool game we just got, Landstalker. And there's some more Sega CD. Sega Time Crisis, so we can finally use the gun. If I get a TV, that'll work. What is this? I don't know. Tekken 3? Oh, okay. So that's Tekken 3 with an iron death throw, whatever. Sewer Shark for Sega CD, if you guys remember Sewer Shark. And Sonic and Knuckles and all that good jive. You've seen all that stuff before. So there we go. So that's some of the new stuff we picked up. Oh, and what is this one? Oh, just Street Fighter. Just Street Fighter. I got multiple copies of that. Who was it that was asking about Parasite Eve? Because I said I had it. I've never heard of Sewer Shark. You've never heard? It was a horrible game. It's terrible to play. Terrible to play Sewer Shark. And there's my Twisted Metal. Bullies, blah, blah, blah. There's Parasite Eve right there. Disc 1 and Disc 2. And we got Power Battles, Call of Duty, SingStar, because of course I have SingStar. My microphones are in the basement. Maybe I'll play again sometime. There's SingStar Pop. It's a lot of fun to sing to that one. My Xenogears Disc 2's Disc 1 is still in the PlayStation 2 right now. Dino Crisis and Jet Moto. Siphon Filter and Jam Packs. This is going to be hard to find. Someone trying to find this. This is the 1998 Squares pre-release. Trying to find this disc is hard. You had to subscribe to PlayStation Magazine, and it was a limited release, I believe, of that disc, because it was only put into a few magazines for test samples, if what I'm understanding is correct. But there you go. These things were great. These are the regular discs that used to come with PlayStation Magazine. If you subscribed to PlayStation Magazine, inside you would get these discs. And it was playable demos. Silent Hill. Oh, I can play Silent Hill even though I don't have it. This is 1999. Silent Hill. Oh, even I can play it, I think, all the way up until the entering the dark world. No, you play all the way up until you meet the cop. Yeah, you play all the way up until you meet the cop. So we can get a little bit into Silent Hill with that. And then there's all kinds of codes you can get out of here. Games you can't play. Rugrats. I used to have Rugrats. Non-playable is Siphon Filter, but we have Siphon Filter right next to it. And of course, this is the newest thing I just picked up. They had no idea what they had. It was this is a Commodore disc tape drive for the Commodore computer system, so you could play games on it, data. It stored a whole 14 kilobytes. But they thought it was a tape player, and that's why they sold it so cheap. All right, no cats, no animals. Oh, well, I have to show you guys this real quick. This is almost like legendary. You're never going to see it anywhere else, probably. So what happened was, if you guys are familiar with the Corvette factory where the cave-in, the sinkhole happened in 2014, and all the Corvettes fell into the sinkhole at the museum, and it was on the news and everything. Well, this is a vial of the dirt extracted from the hole when they had to bring the Corvettes back up. And I would imagine that there is at least some awesome Corvette juice on here somewhere. So they sold these to help pay for the renovation of all the Corvettes falling into the hole. The Spider. They lost a Corvette that was irreplaceable, and it's still there, all damaged now where it fell in. And I got to see the video footage of the cave-in happening. It was crazy. They thought someone had blown a hole and was trying to steal the Corvettes, the lady said. And of course, I have my Superman poster that Evie drew a mustache on, so now he is La Superman. Okay. There's the rest of the records I got. And then down there is my Pirates of the Caribbean limited edition replica, stage prop replica of Jack Sparrow's cutlass. The rest of my records, which I have some really cool ones. There's Cabbage Patch Kids. What's this one? Monty Python. Let's just bring them out real quick. Got toys everywhere. This one I just thought the cover was cool, so I just bought it because I thought that was pretty freaking awesome on the cover. Then there's Kiss Me Kate in Oklahoma. Golden Finger 007. We've talked about that. I'm going to have sex with you now. Sesame Street, because it's just cool. Richie Rich. Now, we were talking about Weird Al Yankovic, and this is Frank Yankovic and his Yaks. No relation to Weird Al Yankovic, but he's also called the King of Polka and plays the accordion. Flash Gordon. Flash! Oh, of the universe! Got Walt Disney's Trick or Treat. The Police, because, yeah. Disney's Cinderella. I got this one for Evie because she's just a big fan of Christmas. There's my Mary Poppins one I was telling you guys about. This is an original Mary Poppins. I have it, and check this out. This is probably going to be hard to see ever again. I've got the full color story to go with it, and the page numbers are correct. It's all here. Mary Poppins. What was the copyright year? Oh, excuse me, 1964. 1964. So there's Mary Poppins and how you listen to it with the thing, 1964. I guess this is from the original book. Because it was originally a book, if anyone ever saw Saving Mr. Banks. Hello, Tricky. And there we go. And there's some shooting. I forgot about the cannon part. He was firing. That's funny. He was firing fireworks at him. So page 11, it's all there. And then the Oak Ridge Boys and Bobby Sue. And of course, this is a, oops, that's just a cover. It's been signed by all of them. So it's been hand signed by all of them. There you go. I plan to sell that one. I have no interest in keeping it. One of my favorite musicals all time, The Sound of Music. So this is, I will never let go of this one. This is going to be one of my favorites, especially since there's Julia Andrews right there. She was absolutely lovely. And then I have my Barry Manilow's, which I just love because you guys know that I love Mandy. So Mandy is on one of these, I believe. Maybe no. No, I have Mandy. It's got to be on here. There it is, number 3, Mandy. Yep. So there we go. I was just showing Lisa my collectibles, toys, game, never gonna grow up room / guest room. So when people come to stay, they get to stay in the toy room. So it kind of feels like, I don't know, like a toy store that you're in. And then we have all that stuff. So there you go. That's my toys, Lisa. For now, I'm always collecting more and adding to it and adding more and trading stuff. And it's something I enjoy doing, bartering and trading and flipping and buy this, get that, change that, hit this. It's something I always enjoy doing. You need an NES? They're not too hard to get a hold of. Honestly, if you're not like a serious retro collector, but you just want to play, go out and get yourself a Retron 5. Retron 5. It's going to be about $100, maybe a little more. You can get one used if you want. And it'll play 5 different types of retro video games. You can also, for it, they make an adapter for it now, which I think would work on the original as well, but I'm not sure. But that you can click your Game Gear games in with this adapter. It's like $15. So then Game Gear games will be open. Yeah, that's fine. Go to you can go online here. We'll look it up, Lisa. I'll find it for you so I can get the correct info. Because I'm Retron 5. Retron 5. Retron, Retron 5. Amazon has one for about $120. You can get them maybe a little cheaper. I would say find a local video game store, retro video game store. What's the Game Exchange is a good one or something. Look one up online. I'm sure there's plenty in your area. And just go ask for a Retron 5. They'll have it. And what it plays is it supports NES, Famicom, SNES, Super Famicom, Sega Genesis / Mega Drive, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advanced, and yeah, so you can play all those games on that one system. It'll work perfect for those who just enjoy playing the games. I'm just a collector. I enjoy. Free shipping too from Walmart for $129.78, so they'll ship it right to your door for free and you'll be able to play. So, it plays NES, which is the Nintendo Entertainment System, Famicom, which is what it was called in Japan. So you can play both Famicom and Japanese games and American games, and it's region-free. So all European games, British games, all of those will work on it. It's region lock-free. And you'll be able to play, so it's Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advanced. Those are all the game systems that you can play on this one thing. And let me get you a picture of it so you can see. So you don't have to worry about not having the right, you'll know exactly what to look for. It's very, very simple to spot. So anything that looks like one of these, there's so many different brands out there too. but it has all of these slots that you can put the different games in, and then here's your Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance. So Retron 5 right there, and there's that adapter I was telling you about for your if you want to get into getting Game Gear games, which are really cheap to pick up now. You can pick up Game Gear games and Game Boy games pretty cheap. Here's one for $119, but that's exactly what you... Oh, look, here's one at Walmart for $57. $57 for this little cheapy knockoff. That would probably be perfect. They've also got another one right over here that looks like it could work, but you want the number 5. No, I know. I wasn't going to pull out the place. It's all hooked up right now, so I'm trying not to slide those out anymore. I guess I could have just slid it forward and opened, but it is a custom one. Oh, Chris Hubbard, how are you, buddy? Yeah, man. Well, Chris, if you want to play video games, what's the point in buying you one? You just come over here and play all the video games you want. Chris was who donated to the collection. He put it... We're on like a... I want to say the Sega CD, because those games for the Sega CD are retarded expensive. And Chris was nice enough to, kind of like how like a museum, someone donates something to me. It's still theirs, but it's safely being guarded and taken care of in a private location for the rest of the world to still enjoy. And so that's what Chris did. He was like, dude, look, I just know this will be safer with you. Would you hang on to it? And please feel free to use it and expand on it. It's not going anywhere. And I was like, dude, you know that's perfectly acceptable. So no, thank you. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, dude, I'm just hanging out here today too. Got nothing to do. So yeah, that'll get you hooked up now, Lise, and that'll get you playing all the games. Then you can find a retro game store. I would suggest trying to find a game exchange. You can go pick up like little cheap Game Boy games for $2, $3, $4. You can go pick up some Sega Nintendo games, $3, $4, $5. So if you take $20, $30 in there, you can come out with 5 or 6 games that you can take, excuse me, take home and play. And that's best. Which one? Lords of Thunder? Lords of Thunder is so good. That is an expensive game. If you guys tried, they make reproductions of it, which are dirt cheap, but that is not a reproduction cart. That is an original from back in the day. Lords of Thunder. Always nice, huh? A Boy and His Blob, they have that up there. You did? Oh, that's so awesome, Lise. Hey, Reg, how you been, man? Glad to have you stopping by. You get your computer back, or are you still on your mom's cell phone? Either way, it's okay. I'm glad you're here, dude. Glad you're here, man. I hope you got your computer fixed. That would be nice. I haven't seen you in a while. That's so cool. You found a Game Boy game, A Boy and His Blob. I remember that one, yeah. I remember it. I've sold so many rare and expensive games, too, that I've gotten a hold of dirt cheap, and they hold no nostalgia for me, so I sell them because I don't care. It doesn't matter if the game's like Skate or Die was $3. Finding that game means more to me than you could ever believe, because that was one of my favorite games as a kid. Skate or Die 2. Great game, man. Skate or Die. Skate or Die 2. Oh, man, that's always good stuff. Always good stuff. Oh, what's everybody going on? Anybody? Someone told me once that they like to go to the gym and put me on while they listen and just run it out. So I don't know if that person's still here or not. So if they are, cool. No worries. Glad to have you still hanging out. There's quite a few people. We even had 10 hanging out, 9, 10 hanging out. That's a crowd to me. I'm happy to have this. We got so many thumbs up going though, so that's wonderful. Everyone's stopping in. Thumbs up. Yep. Oh, that's so cool, man. We just did a 24-hour live stream the other day. I streamed for 24 hours. Oh, well, that's good, man. You're playing Pokemon Go. That's cool. You're out playing Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon. And then, yeah. That's cool, man. Joe just sets me up, and he's, a snip, snip here, and a snip, snip there. And listen to the J Green Bomb. That's how we make the arrangements today, because I'm Joe Man and I'm awesome. That was a really bad rendition of a Wizard of Oz song that I don't know how I got it. That didn't work. It was funny. Thank you, Joe. Well, good. All right. Well, I know after this I'm going to be getting I'm going to do probably a 2-hour, unless for some reason we get popular, which I don't see happening. You know what? I may go for a 3-hour today. I got nothing better to do. Yeah, dude, that was hilarious. I sent you a message right out. I watched it immediately. I was like, dude, that was hilarious. Chris sent me a video of a guy, and he's like, there looks like there should be a wall here. Maybe it's magic. And the kid just walks straight into the wall. No hesitation. Full speed. Fucks given. None. And face first into it. It was hilarious. That's going for it. That's great. Joe, just so you know too, man, I don't know if you heard, you know that the live stream did hit its 100 mark for thumbs up, so we did it. We did it. It was 45 on the first hour, 12 hours, and 55 on the second 12 hours. Oh, sweet. So I want to thank you, Joe, because you were pushing so hard, man. You were a top-notch moderator, dude, when it came to that. You were on. I think it's hilarious you fell asleep with me in your hand. I'm surprised I wasn't in your dreams. And you're like, Jay Grebo? I was dreaming about him, and we were hanging out at the flower shop, and he kept saying baby's breath. Yeah, we hit over 1,000 views on it, too, which is amazing. With very little negative responses. Very negative little responses. Oh, I did get a funny comment. Somebody tried to insult me. You want to hear what happened? It was funny. Oh, I blasted them and I subscribed. I love doing that. I love that. Hold on. Somebody did tell me there's a new guy. If you guys don't know, his name is Unknown Explorer. Unknown Explorer, spelled just like it sounds, and he does some kind of fishing stuff, I guess, but he's subbed to the channel, so that was very nice of him. Now, where's this message? I want to see it. It was so funny. Oh, here we go. It was on my magnet fishing for my lost magnet. And this guy named Dayz says, and I'm going to read you what he typed because it took me a second to try to figure out what he was saying, and then when I understood it, and then when I went back over it to try to oh, that's what he meant. Okay. So he says here, he goes, does he have mental health issue? Is the girl his carer? More importantly, does she get off her phone? Should she calling her clients? And I told him, I said, I get that you're trying to be witty and funny with an insult, but did you even read what you typed before you hit reply? And then I put back what he said. More importantly, does she get off her phone? She calling her? And then I laughed at him. But I also made sure to let him know A for effort. And I gave him a big A+ for effort. And yeah. So that was funny. And I think George went over and subscribed to him, and I went and subscribed. Yeah, I'm subscribed to him. I subscribed him. So what I think is funny is that he's going to be like, I got a subscriber. He's going to look at it and see that it's me who he just tried to insult. It's like, dude. So that was funny. Well, if he ever wants to come over sometime, and I'll happily sit him down, we'll look at his channel together and go over it. I would be happy to. Now, it looks like it says Sudden Sprint is also online right now. I didn't even notice that right there. He's playing Fortnite. Let me stop in to say hi real quick. It's only fair. Dave me. Like, not you, but me. Dave me. So I think it's funny, though, like, if someone wants to give me an insult, I like to subscribe to him, because then it's like, well, you tried to. He didn't insult me because his English was completely broken. You could tell that, or was a child typing quickly. And I get what he was trying to say. But my first response was, I answered his questions, does he have a mental issue? And I said, yes, I do. I have PTSD. So who's the girl? That's not my care. That's my wife. She was on the phone for quite a bit of that video. Not the first people to comment. But you know what? If people want to comment that she was on the phone a lot, she was. And I really don't care. I was magnet fishing. If you want to watch magnet fishing, go for it. But I was trying to get my lost magnet. I was trying to get her lost magnet back. So regrettably, I understand her magnet was in the river that I lost in a tragic disaster magnet fishing. So I could imagine there would be a bit of annoyance. But yeah, if she's going to stay on the phone for the next ones, we've learned that not being on the phone for videos is better. But I really don't care. I really don't care. There we go. But he's playing Fortnite. What's he saying? We'll see if he... I don't know. Alright, man. Take it easy, Chris. We'll talk to you later, bro. It's just music. He's not even... There we go. Now he sees it. Alright, so he saw it. Hold on, I'm almost done talking. There we go. Okie dokie, artichoke. Absolutely you can. Well, what I can do, can I add me? I think can you add me? Just go to jgreenbaum85. It's the same thing for everything. And you guys can request me if you want to send me a request, and I'll be happy to add you, and I'll play with you whenever I get an opportunity to. But let's do this for the guy, Unknown Explorer. I'm gonna go to his channel real quick. He has one subscriber, me, and he goes, "I'm sold. Buying a magnet and rope, my new hobby instead of fishing this year." So I want to go to his channel, see if he's got any content, because if he does, I want to give him at least a little bit of encouragement. Early morning in Kentucky upload. So I'm going to say hello to him and make sure he knows that we're going to be supporting him as well. Uh-oh. There we go. Hello from Tennessee. And I've been noticing this is something I do. Normally I would type out hello, bad thing. I'm starting to make sure that I capitalize where it's necessary. And normally when I'm texting somebody or just talking to somebody, I'm like, you are for your. But when I'm noticing that on YouTube, I try to do that a lot less. And I try to use more correct grammaring and capitalization where necessary and things like that. I don't know, it just comes off a little more. I should be doing it anyway because of when I talk to my boss, I have to do all that. When I send out emails for the record label, I have to do all that. So it only makes sense. What's nice about the job with the record label is I can do it from anywhere in the world as long as I have my computer and my phone. There's nothing I can't do for it from these two things. That's why I have to have the unlimited data for my phone, is so that I can always be able to upload, download, connect, send, whatever. I have to be able to send files, connect files, download files, and I don't want to let it. When I have a phone, what's the point of having a phone? Is you can have 10 gigs of data. So you're saying is that my phone is only allowed to work so much before I have to pay more? No, I should just pay one thing and then it should do as much as I want. That's what a phone should do. For me, I don't know. Maybe I'm being ridiculous. I do have a big phone bill, but I'm not going to lie. That's how I like it, though. At least I get everything I want. I've been with this carrier for years, so I get a lot of decent treatment when I go in there. But yeah. I'm getting the new Galaxy as soon as it comes out. The Galaxy S9. I'll have that one. This will be traded in, and we'll have the new camera. As soon as the 10 comes out, the foldable one, I've already seen kind of the concept. It's not as cool looking as I thought it was going to be. So I may stick with the 9 and skip the 10 and go right to the 11. But I'll trade this one in June and have the newest iPhone. So hate these interruptions. I can't wait till I have a nice, good desktop computer so I can, working with the phone and the project of doing YouTube with just a phone to see what can be done with just a phone is interesting. But I think when I start doing live streams, once I get a nice computer, I'll start doing it on that so we don't have to deal with these interruptions anymore. Because it is quite annoying. Quite annoying. Ow. Picked up a ton of subscribers. I got to send out thank you letters. So let me do my thank yous real quick because I haven't done that. And that is rude. That is extremely rude to not send out your thank yous. And this is where TubeBuddy helps, guys. For those who are new creators, young creators, trying to get started, TubeBuddy. Install TubeBuddy. I have my thank yous preset, so I just select a thank you. Now, if there's somebody that's been talking to me, I sometimes will personalize. I can't remember always everybody individually who stops by and each and every subscriber, but if I do and they've stood out, I won't send a standard message. I will definitely make a personal thank you, or if they did something. So you guys should know the difference, though. But if most of you here have gotten a personal thank you, you guys didn't get the standard way. So I'm sending out all my thank yous. Oh, I was Tim. I should have sent him a personal one. I talked to Tim for just a minute ago. I'm going to send him another message. You're the best. And I'm going to type it like he's on my text because he's a friend. Damn, hey. Sorry about these interruptions. We got mad wind going on outside. I've never had to send out this many thank yous at once. This is so awesome. You guys came out of the woodwork for me and helping with subscribers. Out of the woodwork. Any Jew. What's up with you? Somebody tell me something that we can... What's an interesting thing in your life that's happened that we can discuss? If you don't mind sharing. Oh, little. That's gravy with cheese for me, guys. Gravy with cheese. And my likes to dislikes ratio is awesome. I was always taught when I did my comedy that you're aiming for 10%. Bitcoin's been murdered for me. Yeah, I was looking into mining the Bitcoins on doing the little ones, and I started doing the math and how long it was going to take and rough average if I did this, that, and the other, and it wasn't worth it. Now, even just running, if you could get like 20 or 30 of little devices going at once, even then, the power use may not be worth it. So unless you could go solar, it's just not worth it. And I don't know. I haven't put any money into Bitcoin. I'm okay right now. I think if you want to put money into something that's going to have value, just buy gold. You don't need to buy Bitcoin. Buy gold. It's never going to go out of style. As long as there's technology, gold is going to have a value. Buy gold or potatoes. If you want something a little more easy to get some money, invest in potatoes. Potatoes aren't going anywhere. That's a healthy market every year. Invest in taters. What's suspicious? What's eh? See? Taters. You can mash them. Retro games, there's a growing market for it, and then the market's going to decline someday, though. It's kind of like you would think like Commodores are going to be worth a lot, and they're not as worth as much as you would think. Now, if you can get them working, only because the age of people are getting to that game. The age of people who remember Nintendo are starting to be 30, 40s, maybe early 50s. You were a teen and you probably played some. Sega came out and stuff like that. So that's the age now that the markets of nostalgia are going to. If I could use example, as you see, LA Beast with he had his Proton Pack. I had that as a kid. I had a Proton Pack. I remember playing with it all the time. And I love it. I had the Ghostbuster house. All that stuff that people are collecting are stuff from their childhood, which is the age of most consumers nowadays. So it only makes sense that that stuff is starting to become worth. Oh, okay. Well, I hope it works out. What, you can't buy it without handing over ID? Well, that sucks. You just order it off of Amazon here. You go on Amazon, get whatever you want. They're not going to ID you. Oi! Oh, I'm sorry. They give you so much issues. Why don't you have someone order it for you then? Well, what does it matter if you're ordering it? There's nothing illegal about mining for Bitcoin, so I don't see why it would be an issue though with the ID. Joe, I would suggest if you have Bitcoin now, sell it and buy gold. Sell them all. Sell them all. Get out of that. If you can make a money, if you can get in and out now and make a profit, do it. Get out of Bitcoin. It's too unstable. I'm telling you, that's a Ponzi scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme that's working on a large scale. And it could bottom out any second. And the problem with it, though, is that normally when you see something decline in the stock market, it's up, down, and it goes down steadily. You're going to see Oh, your coins. Your coins. I got you. Your collectible coins. I see. Oh, okay. I was saying if you have Bitcoin, what's going to happen with Bitcoin is you're going to go to bed one night and your Bitcoin's going to be worth something, and you're going to wake up in the morning and it's going to be worth nothing. I mean, it's not. I mean, if you bought into Bitcoin early, you could have made some serious money. I heard there was a guy in the UK. He bought like 300 pounds worth of Bitcoin when it was like 50 cents a Bitcoin back in the day, and or 50p, and he forgot about it until recently and just sold it for £500,000. Now he made some money. Good for him. But the problem with it is, though, is that, it can bottom out anytime, and it's not going to be a pretty bottom out. People are going to lose. Someday, someone's going to dump a ton of their Bitcoin who's a major holder, and that much Bitcoin hitting the market's going to flood it. No one's going to want it. Major investors going to be out, and it's going to drop bottom dollar immediately. And a lot of people are going to be out of some money. Now, there's money to be made, of course, at a time. If you can get in and out anytime, there's a way to always make money in a Ponzi scheme if you can recognize it and know when to get in and know when to get out. You can do some money. Ah, well, that sucks, man. Ah, I see, I see. Oh, tricky, tricky, Gypsy, tricky, tricky, huh? Got to be smarter than them sometimes. They try to get you with things. You can't let them. I was, I guess, getting arrested once. I'm not going to get into it. But the cop tried to play a mind trick on me, and I caught him. And he knew I caught him. And he was just like, okay. So he said to me, what was your name again? I sat there for just a second. I almost said my name. And I was like, wait a minute. I didn't give you my name. I didn't tell you what my name. What was your name again? I didn't give it to you. And then, yeah, I still got arrested. But, oh well. No big deal. Overnighter. I've done a few overnighters. Yeah, getting arrested's a part of life sometimes. Yeah. Am I perfect? No. Of course not. I'm just a regular Joe like everybody else. Huh, Joe. Huh. They call me Mr. Anderson. They, I will say this, though. The first time I did get arrested, the officers commented that I was the most funny person they've ever had in the police station. So it was all good. So I know I was doing okay. What sucked though is they were gonna let me out, and they're like, "We're having a problem with your background check, your ID coming up." And I'm like, "Oh yeah?" They're like, just out of curiosity, do you have a security clearance?" I'm like, "Actually, I do." They're like, "That's why it's taking so long for your background to come through." I'm like, "Well, gentlemen, let's look at this reasonably. You have all my information. I'll gladly you have my cell phone number. You know I'm in the military. You know where I'm stationed. And you know where my unit is. If my background is coming back that I am being blocked because of my security clearance, clearly I have a clear background because I have a security clearance." It was just a misdemeanor anyway. No big deal. That's all I've ever been arrested for is misdemeanors. And bullshit. Just things that they let go. They're like, "Yeah, that was wrong." So I was like, what's the big deal? If you just let me out, you know where I'm going to be, you know all my information, you have everything, let me go. You know, it's at the time, no big deal. They're like, "Well, we can't until the background check." I'm like, "Oh, please. Yes, you can. Just put the key in, and turn, and it's done. I won't say anything, you don't say anything, you get a nice quiet evening. Bam." And like 2 hours later, they let me go. But it just took, I was just like, I don't know why common sense couldn't kick in at that point. You have to have a spotless background to get a security clearance. And I have a spotless background. Even these little misdemeanors don't even go against you. They're just that. It's like, "Hey, don't do that again. Hey, I'm sorry. You pay a fine, I'll pay a fine." Is that fine? That's fine. That's fine. That's why it's called a fine. Are you fine with paying some money? Yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay. You pay your land, you pay the lord and ladies of the land, and they speak to the judges on behalf of the lord and ladies, and then they release you from the cell in the dungeons. I mean, this jail. Nothing changed. They just took on different names and kept the same roles. Now they do it with honor, supposedly. I'm not super, I'm just saying. I would imagine that in the show Dragon Ball Z, that might have been a joke, because there was always the joke of a Super Saiyan. So maybe when the Saiyans were sitting around at their bar drinking, they're like, "I'm not super, I'm just saying." Oh, that's a funny one. He is Saiyan, and we think about the super because it's been legend, but no one's ever really. That's funny. I think that's what they would do in Saiyan bars on Planet Vegeta. I think, though, if I was the first person to go to Mars and they sent me, the first thing I would do is rename it. Like, NASA, Earth to Mars. Hey, Earth, this is no longer Mars, over. Say again, Mars. Once again, Earth, this is no longer Mars, over. What's your call sign? Not the call sign, I renamed the joint, over. If it's a crime to steal someone's scab, that's disgusting. I would say prove it's their scab. I was like, "This is my scab. I found it." Because technically you could say that they discarded it, and therefore you could have an argument that they had discarded the scab and that you didn't steal it. It was discarded in public, and therefore it was like trash. It was abandoned. I would argue that one. I could beat that one in court. I could argue my way out of that one. I got into an argument with a lawyer once. I got sued by my ex-wife, my first wife, didn't pay the rent on the apartment she had gotten, and they tried to sue me for it because my name was on the lease. And when I met with their lawyer at court, I tore him up and down one side the other. And I hit him with the Soldier-Sailor Act of 1974, which was my protection. He didn't expect me to know. He expected the kid's going to hit court and flip. And I didn't. I fought back. And I hit him with all the facts, and then I went and lawyered up myself. But I told my lawyer everything I said and did. He's like, "You're done. You're good. I'll just mess with them now." Because as soon as I said the Soldier Sailor Act of 74, they knew exactly what I was talking about. They just wanted to see if I would pay or if I didn't know the law. And I knew the law because I'm very good at protecting myself from that kind of situation. So, yeah, got clean out of that one. And I had offered them, I said, look, we cannot walk into court right now and I'll give you half. I'll pay you half of what it is. You go after her for the other half. They said, no, we're going to go after you and you can go after her for the half. I was like, that's bullshit. And then I was like, now you get nothing. Now you get nothing. You're going to get 100% of nothing now. And that's what I did. So it's just like what lawyers aren't. They're not super special people. They just have connections and they know how to word things. It's all in the wording. And they try to hide things in word by giving confusing ways, but it doesn't confuse me. I understand it completely. And it's really easy to navigate. And they like to get tricky. They like to change it up quickly on you. And how things can change. And this word, putting a comma in a certain place means a whole bit of a difference. Lots of little things like that in English language that you got to be careful of. This word to that word can make a huge difference. What is the cat doing? Oh, she's caught up in the game room. Hi, Piper. Did you get caught in here? That's because you're not supposed to go in the game room. That's what you were doing. Sorry, kitty. Sorry, guys. Piper had followed us into the game room, and I didn't know. I thought I did an animal sweep, but I should have done that. But, hold on. That got me lightheaded. Nice shot of pain will do that to you. Okay. Hello back, Tom. Oh, well, thank you. From Michelle. That's nice. Thank you. I really didn't expect you to include me in the conversation, even if you did take a second to say hello. I understand your time that you guys don't get to see each other, and the fact that you used a little bit of that time to mention that I said hello means a lot. So thank you. You didn't have to do that. Well, that's good. You got yourself a good girl. That's what's up. And Tom's a good guy. So a good guy and a good girl, that's good. That's real good. That's the sound of the men working on the chain gang. Oh, that's a good song too. What'd I do? Wait, what'd I do? I don't remember. Huh? Sunday. What'd I do Sunday? When was... Oh, the 24-hour stream was Sunday. Oh, okay. Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Do you remember, Tom, that it's you, apostrophe R-E, not your, as in possessive? Oh, well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. The views have still been going up steady. Sorry, I'm not trying to be a grammar Nazi. It's just my thing. And it'll help you with your YouTube channel as long as you have correct... Because I see that you're going to want to do... So you're going to be speaking to a larger English audience. Clearly, America has a big grip on a lot of the YouTube viewership and stuff. So you do want to make sure that when you're doing things like that. And I'll help you anytime, please. If I'm overstepping boundaries, you tell me, dude, just shut up. And I will understand. But if you ever need help with anything, I know... You work with your... I've heard your accent. It's awesome, by the way. But if you need any help with that by any means, you just let me know. I'm your guy. That way, when people say, hey, do you know how to correct your English? You'll be like, dude, I got a guy for that. I got a guy for that. I got a guy for lots of things. You always have to have a guy for that. You know, like, you got your suit guy. You got your, if I need a car wash, I got a guy for that. I have a guy. You know, that's the guy I go to. When I was in California, there was a guy at the store. I didn't know his name, but he was Russian. And when I walked into the store, I asked him what his name was, and he was like, Chinklesta. I was like, dude, you're the guy. Because I would ask him, what do you think I should get for this, this, this? And he'd be like, my friend, the ladies like this alcohol. And I was like, perfect, thank you, the guy. And I just called him the guy. And when I would go into he was such a nice guy. Like, I went in there one time, and I was like, I've got some girls coming to the hotel. What you drink? He hooked me up with this pink stuff. And I was like, perfect. I was like, now for the dudes, what do we get, man? What are you thinking tonight? And he goes, this is what you need, my friend. And I was like, thank you, the guy. And then I was like getting ready to head. I was like, oh, I forgot firewood and limes. So he was like, just take, my friend. Take it. No problem. I was, thank you, the guy. And anytime I needed something, though, when I was in Big Bear, if I needed snacks, food, alcohol, whatever, I went to the guy because that's my guy. When I need things, I go see the guy. And I think the last time I hadn't gone up there in like 2 years because of deployments or something like that. And I came back and I walked in. I was like, you remember me? He goes, of course the guy remembers you. And I was like, the guy. Thank you, the guy. I bet if I went there, he's still behind that counter. That guy was awesome. Oh, too easy, Tommy. Too easy, Tommy boy. And please, guys, if I ever come off as, anything I do with my grammar correction comes off as being kind of an asshole, you can let me know to stop. Hey, dude, I'm just trying to type here in chat. Okay, I got you. I wish we could find the guy. Maybe if I Googled it and found the name of the store and I called it up and be like, listen, I used to come into your store all the time. Is this the guy? And he was like, yes, this is the guy. I'm like, listen, the guy, you got to get on my YouTube channel. We've all been wanting to talk to you, the guy. Maybe we could find the guy. Wouldn't that be cool if I could find the guy? That would be legendary. I do have the Piper, though. She's right here. Stuff like that. I had a snowboard guy. That's who I went to for my snowboarding gear because he hooked me up. He hooked me up with gear, and I kind of Jewed him a bit. We went into there, and I was like looking at snowboarding gear because Sip and I decided we were going to go try snowboarding. I give our hand at snowboarding. Sip didn't like it. I did. But we went into this store to buy gear. I'm like, well, I need pants. And this guy's like, pants are over there. I'm like, looking, I'm like, $240. I'm like, dude, like, you got anything cheaper, man? Anything? The guy's, well, I got this promotional gear from last year. They wanted me to give it away, but I've got a few left. I'll sell you one for $50. Sold, dude. So Sip and I both bought one, and we're like, well, if I'm getting pants, I need a jacket, dude. And he goes, well, I got some over here for like 120. I was like, no, if you've got pants for 50, you've got jackets for 50. And he was like, okay, fine. And he hooked us up with those. And then I'm like, now we need goggles and gloves. And I was like, I know you got a discount somewhere. And he pulled out the discount stuff that he wasn't trying to, I guess, put out. And I got some of that stuff. We got hooked up. And basically, Sip and I wound up walking away with like $400 worth of stuff. We paid about $400 with our board rentals, clothing, gear, tickets for the mountain and everything. And it should have been somewhere in the price of like $1,000. But you just got to know how to finagle. And that's what's nice is people don't haggle. And that's why I like little mom and pop businesses better, is that it's more personal. I don't think you could walk into Walmart and be like, how much is this TV? Well, it's $6.50, sir. I'll give you $6. You know, there's none of that. There's no haggling. And I like haggling because you know there's... Sorry. Sip tried to call me. Hopefully he knows to go online. If he knows I declined his call, he knows I should be online. So hopefully he'll be joining us in just a minute. Oh, there's my Piper. My hyper Piper. Hi, my pretty kitty. Anyway. That should be much better now. Hyper Piper. Yep, there's my Hyper Piper. I love this cat to death. She is so cool. All my pets are cool in their own unique ways. Peanut's really the annoying one. Minimum, I like her because she's like a perfect cat. She comes around for a scratch every once in a while, little food, little water, and she's back out the door. Perfect roommate. She is. She's a pretty kitty. She's a good girl. I love that she has like this. She has such a pronounced chin for a cat. Like a very, very pronounced chin, and she loves her little chin to be scratched. Don't you, Piper? Yes. Hello, hello, Patrick. Good to have you back. You should see Butter. She likes to snuggle with the cat. She loves to snuggle. I can tell Butter, go find the baby, and she'll go find Piper. Hello again. You're just back and forth today, aren't you? Right. Well, Joe, if I ever need to know something, see, you don't get that that's important, Joe. You have no idea that guys need to have a flower guy. And when I was a kid, when I was 16 and I was killing it with the young girls in high school, I had a flower guy. That was my flower guy because it was always nice when I took a girl out to show up with 1 rose. But it would be done nicely, you know, or maybe 3 roses with some baby's breath accented. You know, no card because we don't need to read. We just need to look nice. And then when prom time came, I already knew who I was going to for my corsage to get. I was hooked up. I had a suit guy. I had a shoe guy. And this is when I was a kid, 16, 17. I had all of this ready to go. It was a production to go on a date with me. I used to be a killer, man. Then some girl snatched me up. And then I broke up with her. But yeah, so yeah, it definitely had to have the flower. It's any person who's a young person watching, listen, pay very close attention. Find a flower store in your town and go in. One time I've always wanted to order blue roses. Blue roses are wicked, wicked expensive. I've been with Evie, let's see, coming up on, this will be 7 years in a jeweler, a mechanic, a florist. Absolutely. I'm a mechanic myself. I'm not a jeweler. I'm not a florist by any means. I can fix things, though, generally. I can just fix something if it's broken. I'm really good at fixing things once, and I'm good at learning how to fix things. Once I see it done once, I can do it again over and over and over and over, and then probably do it better later. That's just like I start developing new little tricks and techniques of my own to figure out ways to make it faster and works better, things like that. That's what I like to do. But I'm not a good closer, though. So like if I was a pitcher in baseball, probably need to take me out around the 7th inning because that's when I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. But yeah, 7 years, man. We're coming up on 7 years. Well, see, that's what's great too, Tom, is I do electrical work as well because when I joined the military, and the job I specifically chose to work in the military had a purpose. And I know a lot of people join up, and I was thinking this. I had just finished my degree in automotive and diesel technologies. And I was like, you know what? My weakest subject in school was electricity. I did very poor in electricity. I just didn't pick it up as easy as I'd like to. I don't know why. It just took me a little longer. I picked up the basics, no problem, but just some of just some of the numbers. I don't do the numbers very well, so that was always tricky for me. I don't know why it is. But, or testing well. I just didn't test well on it. So I chose power generation technician so that I could work with electricity and get better at it. Oh, you can do metal fabrication? Ooh, now I got a metal guy. See, this is great. The Army did make me very proficient at killing. I could do some of that, no problem. I don't know how that translates well, but, you know, maybe if there's a war or something and they ask the veterans to come back, I could finally put that skill back to use. Not a very useful skill. I remember what was it, the movie, I want to say that it was Band of Brothers or The Pacific. And the guy comes back, and he was in the show, he was a stovepipe boy, which was a mortarman. And when he comes back, he was applying for stuff at college, and she goes, "What did you learn in the Army?" He goes, "Well, I was a mortarman. I learned to work angles and this and that." And they're like, "Well, that doesn't do anything for you." He's like, "What are you talking about? That's this. Isn't there anything useful the Army taught you?" And he leaned into the woman. He goes, "They taught me how to kill people really well." And then he just signed up and left. And I was like, there you go. There's nothing ashamed. That's what the Army taught me. I'm not ashamed to say, and I'm not a bad person because of it. But they did teach me how. And they taught me how to do it and, I guess, disconnect for a time while it's happening. But it's not like I'm going to do anything like that again because it's not my job anymore. But they did teach you. And I think people like kind of shun people for that. Oh, you've been taught to do this. Well, I've been shown how, but I'm not taught to. I've been shown how effectively to utilize the tools given to me to achieve objective if under hostile conditions. That's what I think it needs to break down to. Again, when you correct the wording instead of just taking it out of simple killer layman terms, and you really break down the situation, it's not that. And I think that is something, though, and I've seen a lot of flack from it from a few of the posts, that Facebook post. A few of the people who were arguing were, of course, I guess, fearful of veterans, which makes no sense to me, especially considering they're everywhere. And I guess people just think that, oh, the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, those veterans. My dad's Desert Storm veteran. Well, they definitely emotionally teach you how to disconnect. And that's the problem, is they teach you how to turn on this instinct. It's all in the conditioning of basic training, the way they teach you stuff, the way you're taught, the attitude, the environment. It's very direct, very, very decisive, and very quick. And for that, it teaches you, like, for instance, people may not know this, that in the military, that honestly, they tell us that if you see a soldier get shot, you don't go after him. You don't go save him. You fight the enemy first and then try to go get him. Now, guys don't do that because we're brothers and we would go out of our way for each other, but they tell us not to. To wait until the enemy's done firing and you're clear before you go help somebody. And I've seen a video of why you should do that, though, because one man was shot and a U.S. soldier went out to get him and the sniper picked him off, and then another guy went out to go get them and he got picked off, and it didn't do anything but just make bait, and that's what it was. They also told us that if a soldier goes down and their heart's not breathing, you don't stop and do CPR. You don't try to help resuscitate them. You just leave them and push on. And that's kind of what you would have to do. And it's cold. It's really a cold thing that they have to teach you, but you have to get this mentality. They have to get you to this idea that you're invincible. And I saw it happen to a lot of people, and I wasn't sucked into it, but I was taught, ways, shown things, techniques, where to specifically, a lot of people try to aim high at head. You never aim at the head. That's the most ridiculous thing in the world. There's just things. It's just different. They do have to teach you to disconnect. A lot of soldiers have, and that's when the problem is that you see like these guys with PTSD. What I think a lot of it is they've been taught to disconnect, and then somehow a connection's made, and it's too much all at once. Well, it's called center mass. You don't aim. I guess I should not have said the head. I guess I should have said the cranium. And you don't aim for the torso. You aim for center mass. I think you're correct when you say torso, but it doesn't sound. I don't want it to always sound like there's. Well, I guess in military talk, we're talking in the military, so I guess there's nothing offensive about that. That was what my job was. And if someone's offended by it, oh well, because that's what I was taught. And I'm just explaining to you guys what I was taught. And they definitely get you into a mentality of you need to be invincible because they have to hype you up and teach you this. And you start seeing your body respond in a very strong way to a lot of this stuff because they're pushing you mentally, physically to be invincible. And your body responds as such. But yeah, they tell us not to. If you see somebody who's shot, now I talked to I remember, I'll never forget the guy's name. He was my corporal, and he goes, dude, I want you to know that if you get shot and I think your heart is stopped, I will perform CPR on you. I was like, dude, without a doubt, I'm dropping to my knees and I'm pumping the shit out of your heart. And he was like, yep, okay, cool. Same with SIP. I would do the same thing for SIP. If I'd have known SIP had been hit, I would have, my own safety damned, I got to make sure he's okay. But that's not smart thinking. That's not intelligent thinking, really. That's emotional thinking, and you've got to be able to disconnect the emotion, like I was saying. You've got to be able to not think, oh my God, that's my best friend. You've got to think, I've got to keep being a soldier right now. Oh, absolutely. Not even just shot. There's just the increased risk of danger from so much more of just working around big equipment. Accidents are the biggest killer of most militaries. Accidents. Because just having so many people with so much heavy equipment, accidents happen. You just increase that much more chance of there being an issue. Oh, we'll tell you guys, though, this about something that was really fun to do. It was a combat dive. For those who don't know what a combat dive, Tom might know because he's familiar with helicopters. But a combat dive is like this. If you imagine an airplane, this is the nose of the airplane, this is the rear of the airplane. When we were landing in Iraq, we're at 30,000 feet or whatever the altitude was. I believe it was, we were flying at regular 30,000 feet, maybe 20,000. But basically what they do is the runway would be here. Now normally an airplane comes in for a nice slow descent landing. But what they would do is they would try to shoot RPGs or small arms fire at the airplanes and try to catch you on the landing. And then we had to run off the plane as soon as we landed because they try to specifically target when they see planes coming in. They would try to put mortar fire on the airport. So as soon as the plane landed, it was get up, grab your gear, and haul ass out to the bunker. And once we got to the bunker, you wait for the boom. Boom, that was our first mortar. And we're like, okay, welcome to the base. And that was our welcoming. But a combat dive was... basically, what the plane does is it can't come in slow. So what they do is it's like a corkscrew. And the plane tilts the nose almost straight down, and they spiral in the whole way. And then just before the runway comes in, they level off, and boop. And a lot of people had fallen asleep, and I couldn't. I could never sleep on the airplane. It was so noisy and so loud. And I was wearing all my gear, crammed in this little seat with a bag between my legs, body armor on, helmet, weapon between my legs, scrunched up because the bag is underneath me, and I'm kind of just sitting there, and it was so uncomfortable. But I never forget that the way all of a sudden the room tilted. Now remember, I had no windows, so I couldn't see outside. And when the tilted, the angle, I was looking at I was like, this is a very odd sensation. And it was really interesting just to see the plane at that angle. That's all I can keep saying is the angle. We were so tilted that like you almost felt like you were sliding out of your chair, and if you hadn't had a seatbelt on, we were going to slide out. So it was just really interesting experience and a really odd way to view with no horizon to see, and the only line of sight is what you could see in the airplane. It was a very, very odd sensation. Coming out of your seat a little bit, almost like you could feel like we weren't quite negative G, we were just less, and you could definitely feel it. It was interesting. And then running from a mortar. That was always fun. Actually, the base I was on, too, in Iraq was called Mortaritaville because it got mortared so much. They showed us as soon as we landed. They're like, just so you know, mortars here are not a joke. And they started putting up a picture of the base, and they say, these are the mortars and where they hit in the last 2 months. And the whole base starts looking like somebody with chicken pox. I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, it was, though. That was nuts. That was fun. Interesting, to say the least. We got mortared every day, 3 times a day for 6 months. Then they stopped when we started shooting back. They finally started getting some artillery in, and like we used the system. One of the systems I was working on made it so that we could locate people, and then we started firing some hua back at them, and that stopped that quick, or slowed it down like a mo. Yeah, good times. Oh, we're already over the 2-hour mark. Still 10 people hanging out. Appreciate everybody being here. Who's all in? We're only getting 1, 2, 3 participants in the chat. So I would like if you can, if you're not, just go ahead and give us a heads up so I know who's still here. Tom, Gary, and Joe, I know my moderators are still hanging tough and strong. So you guys we're all good to go. Gary, not Joe. Tom, Gary. Tori's here. Hello, Tori. Good to see you, hon. Tricky's still here. Very nice. Okay, cool. I just want to know that who's here. It just makes... it's just... Who's watching me? Who's looking at me? Are you there? It's me, God, Margaret. Okay. It's tricky. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Dance just to find rock your mind is tricky. Sorry. Well, we're going to run this out a little longer. We're having a good time. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Lisa. If my stories are getting odd or we want to change subject, I don't want to get stuck on one thing too much, so I don't want to just talk army junk. Bore everybody with that. Half asleep here. I'm sorry I'm putting you asleep. Go to sleep, Tricky's world. Go to sleep, my little angel. Shut your eyes. Win a prize. I don't know. The aftermath of the 24-hour stream, I stayed up another 3 hours. And I'd already been up prior to that 5 hours. So that's 8 hours on top of the 24-hour stream. So I stayed up a total of 32 hours. I slept 10. I slept 10 hours. Oh, I know, man. I was just being silly. But I felt drained. I don't know. There was a feeling like all the and I know this may sound really ridiculous, but like literally it felt like I had no creative juice left. I couldn't be witty. I had no, yay, Chris is here. Hey, bud. Chris and Joe in the same room at one time, making coffee. No, not really. Just kind of, I've been here home alone, hanging out. I went and hung out with a couple friends last night for a couple hours, and we just did it felt really like old school, it made me feel like a kid again, because all we did was sit outside and smoke we twisted up a nice J, and we kind of all just stood outside at night around midnight in the driveway, talking, hanging out, smoking a J, and it felt like old times again. So it was really nice. But no, I haven't really been celebrating. The day after Monday, I slept almost all day Monday. I was completely drained. I guess that's like when YouTube decides to, like, when at the Oscars or something, when they start playing the music and everyone starts clapping. That's what YouTube's trying to tell me. They're like, all right, get off of here. That's your applause to get off. They keep booting me, but I'm not. I'm like that guy who's like, next card. You better turn that music off. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, it was just exhausting. That's what it was. I don't mind being physically tired, but I hate being mentally tired, and that's what it was. And that's what it was. It was the worst kind of tired. I don't mind punishing my body for things. That's what it's here for. It was my brain that was like literally just, there was no thought process. Everything was routine and simple. I didn't eat much the next day either. I ate a little bit right before I went to bed, and I didn't eat anything the next day after that because I just couldn't be bothered to think about it. And now that Evie's been gone, I just noticed I haven't been really, I forget to eat a lot. Or no desire to. And Evie's cousin's going into labor. The funeral for her grandmother was today. Rest in peace, Grandma. And then her cousin went into labor. Yeah, Evie's grandmother passed away, and that's why Evie hasn't been here. She's up in Ohio for the funeral today. And then her cousin was due to give birth by sometime this month. And Evie was supposed to go up there for that on the 15th. but we pushed her trip back for the funeral, and now her cousin, the funeral's wrapping up, and her cousin went into labor. I don't think that there's any left. Just her great great grandfather. Well, on either one of those sides of those great great grandfathers would be one of Brad's great great grandfathers in some way, shape, or form, or great 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 uncles. So, I don't know if we want to go that far back. Did you know that, Tom, that Brad and Evie are related? We didn't know either when I first met him. I still haven't met Brad yet face to face. I will someday. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I got back to deployment and I said, I'm going to blow $1,000 on a wicked cool, awesome night on myself. People are like, what? I'm like, yep, I already said I'm going to do it. It's got to be done. So I went and threw a party. I've done that. Like, coming back from deployment was always fun. You party like a rock star for a couple nights just to get it out of your system. Just do whatever you want. I always had a good amount of money saved up from a deployment, especially since there's not a whole lot you can spend on it there. So, saved up a good chunks of cash, always came back and blew a good chunk of it to get it out of my system, and then managed the rest. That's how I got my cool Mustang out in California. Paid cash for it. Man, that thing was quick. It's weird. It's cool. It's just, I find it, it's almost improbable. Like, I was watching one of the 23andMe commercials on, like, I was watching a YouTube channel that came on, and they were doing some DNA tests for people in there, and they had this big grandstand of people, and they had tested them, and they brought one woman down, and they're like, and we found a cousin. One of your family members is in this room as well, part of the test group that had come in. They turned out to be, like, 5th or 6th cousins, and they were like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I was like, well, that's got to be really improbable. I was like, they had to have, like, done the test and then maybe tested a sample group and found a connection and brought those two specifically. But I was like, hey, maybe. What are the odds of that really actually happening in real life? And then you find that, and it's just odd. I do play Fortnite, Gil. Cold Beer Gil. I'm sorry, I'm just going to call you Gil if that's okay, bud. Yeah, I play some Fortnite, man. When I get done this live stream, I'll be on some Fortnite. If you guys want to add me, you're more than welcome. Same name as my YouTube channel, jgreenbomb85. So you guys can easily find me if you're my subscribers, and when I go live, if you guys want to join in, because I play with George, I play with Gary, I play with Chris, I play with Joe. I'm a little bit different of a YouTuber. I want to do my channel. I want to be a YouTuber who stays connected with his people, not just when you're watching me on YouTube, but I want to stay connected with you in a different way, in a personal way, because you guys are personally friends of mine. I consider a lot of you friends. Most of you very much good friends that I speak to on a regular basis and text and call and chat, and not just on YouTube. And I appreciate when you guys come to the YouTube channel, of course. It's always a great time. I like it this way because then it's beneficial for both of us. I get to hang out with you, you hang out with me, and we have incentive, and with that incentive, I can do more stuff that's fun for us, fun for you, which then makes you stay and watch more, which gives me the incentive to do more videos that are fun. It's a beautiful little symbiotic circle, if you will. I know, Gary, on Gary's first game, I was in the Army, Gil. I did 7 years. 26 months in combat, once to Iraq and once to Afghanistan. Served proudly. It's a family thing. I've been doing it. My dad was in the military. My grandfather was in the military. My great-grandfather was in the military. And that's my dad's side. And then on my mother's side, my other grandfather was in the military. My uncle was in the military. My great-uncle was in the military. We have over 100 years of military service in my family. Sure, absolutely, Tom. I'll hit you up sometime. We'll get a hold of you. I'll give you a Skype call again. I love chatting with you guys. I don't think I'm going to do well, should we do a fan call today? We should do a fan call today. And I'm thinking then, if I know she's busy cleaning house, but Lisa's been stopping by so many streams and been so supportive. I think that it would only be fair that it be her turn to get a thank you call. So Lisa, if you would like and you're available and you can put down the chores for a second, just a minute or so. I'd love to be able to, I know you're on my Twitter. I think you're on my Facebook as well. But I'd love to be able to give you a personal thank you call live here on the stream. And thank you for all the support and everything you've done to be a part of this. And so much, you came in and out of the 24-hour live stream checking on me, and I appreciate it. You helped boost me and pep me up a little bit. And that's, you guys don't know that you were like a spirit bomb sending me energy, and I could feel it. And every time you guys came back and keep going and you give me the encouragement, it was for that next person. You were the one who was the next person for the next hour, and then somebody else. Oh, you're too shy. No, that's no excuse. That's no excuse. Because I have one woman who she says she will let me in. She is on oxygen and she is completely embarrassed. So no, that is no excuse, Lisa. Don't be shy. You're a gorgeous young lady. Don't worry about that. You should let me give you a personal thank you call. It's just something I've been doing on every segment of my show. It's a way of saying thank you to you guys and a personal way of connecting. So if you don't let me pressure you. I don't want to, no pressure if you don't feel comfortable. But if you would like to, it would be a real honor to say a personal thank you to you for all that you've done on the channel and coming and supporting me and helping out and talking with us and getting your chores done. It would be an honor. But if, again, you don't feel comfortable, I don't want to make you feel like I'm trying to pressure you into anything uncomfortable, and I will leave it at that for you, okay? But it doesn't mean I won't ask again later. So, because, Lisa, you've got to remember, 100 no's and 1 yes is still a yes. So that's 1 no. Hello, Magnetized Fishing. Good to see you, bud. How are you, sir? My name is G-Bob Man. I'm here to say I love Fruity Pebbles in a major way. Okay, fair enough. I can work with another time. It's that no that gets me. Fair enough. All right. Well, we're over the 2-hour mark. We're probably going to run it out to here about 2:45, 3 hours. So we've got some more time with you guys. Then I'm going to jump on some Fortnite and go dominate and try to get a couple kills in that one and play some with you guys. I won't be broadcasting that, so it'll be just us hanging out, chilling, chatting, talking, whatever. I do have to give Sip a call, so you have to give me a few minutes to get online before I do that, because I got to call my buddy back. I love you guys, but Sip takes priority. That's my battle buddy, and I said I'd never leave a battle buddy behind, so I got to check on him first. I wonder, though, something, though. Nah. No, I'm not going yet. Not yet. No. We've got some more time, lad. We're going to stick around for a little bit. Chit-chat a little more. We're going to give a little more wee chatting with you. Oh, wonderful. See, that's how we help each other grow. I can hear the bells. And see, Tom, what we can do is that when we do our chats on Skype, you can practice more English with me in a comfortable setting. And we'll work on it together. And you can help me with my German or my Dutch. Because when I was in Iraq, I was doing Rosetta Stone. And on Tuesdays, I was doing Spanish. And on Thursdays, I was doing German. So I was trying to brush up back on that, and then Then when I got back, I kind of forgot to keep doing my exercises and my practices, and it kind of faded out. And if I don't get to practice my German and my Spanish very often, language is kind of a use it or lose it thing for me. I start forgetting a lot of stuff. There's certain things I remember, like Arabic. I can still tell someone to go away. Hover. In Arabic, which is imshi manuk. Imshi. That's go away. Imshi. And my Pashto and my Dari were terrible. I was trying to learn to count, and it was getting a little difficult, but yeah. Matt Lucas and Sid, oh, I made a joke earlier, Sid, and you would have got it. Oh, I wish you were here for it earlier. If you have to go through the stream and find it, I made a reference to an awesome joke, and only you would have gotten it. Oh, I made it just for you. Oh, that's what it was. We were talking about something, and I said, no, wait, I got it. I remembered. I was talking about it, Sid, and I said, you know, sometimes that's how she goes. Sometimes she goes, sometimes she doesn't. That's how she goes. You're learning Polish. Oh, you have a Polish colleague. Well, technically, Tom, because you didn't capitalize the P and you said you have a Polish colleague. Because the only difference in the spelling between the word Polish and polish is the capitalization of the first letter. Or excuse me, the only difference in pronunciation of the word Polish to polish is the capitalization of the first letter. So I have a Polish colleague. Ooh, well, maybe he's a Polish colleague. He's very, very fine. He's Polish. No, it still works. It still works. It still works, Tom. It still works. He's a very polished colleague. I get it. No, that's fine. That works good. He's a polished gentleman, and he says some words in Polish. Oh, he's posh. Posh, oh, the posh, traveling life, the traveling life for me. YouTube interrupted me, and I'm getting back to it. Oh, the posh, traveling life, the traveling life for me. Third class, first class, and captain stable, real company. When I'm at the helm, the world's my realm, and I do it stylishly. For up, for back, posh with a capital P. O-S-H-P-O-S-H, posh. Who knows that movie? Lisa, you should know this one then. You're good at music trivia. What was that? What was that movie, Lisa? Come on, Lisa. Go 3 for 3. Oh, the posh, traveling life, the traveling life for me. Third class and first class and captain stable, real company. When I'm at the helm, the world's my realm, and I do it stylishly. Fall out, fall back, posh with a capital P. Oh. There you go. It's not a well, I guess it is kind of a musical. It's an older one. Peanut was singing too. Peanut. But you didn't have to cut me off. Make out like it never happened and now we were nothing. And I don't even need your love. Come on, Peanut, sing. But you treat me like a stranger and that feels so rough. Though you didn't have to have your friends collect my records and then change your number. Guess that I don't need that though. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. You're not going to sing? That's one of your favorites. You normally always sing that with me. Oh, that was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, by the way. Let's go fly a kite up where the air is bright. Let's go fly a kite and send it soaring up to the atmosphere. Up where the air is clear. Oh, let's go fly a kite. So that was for magnetized fishing. Yep, that's the one. I hope I did the British accent. Up to the atmosphere, up where the air is clear. You have to do it specifically because Mr. Banks had the British accent when he sung it, so you have to clear. Very clear. I don't know. Ah, well, that was fun, wasn't it? Your dogs know the words. Yeah, they got it down. We rehearse before every broadcast. Peanut, check your alto. Butter, I need you just holding it down on the electric triangle. We'll let you know when we need you. And 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3. Hey, everybody. Yep, that's exactly what happens. You have no idea. I sit the cat down. I'm like, I need you to be cute. I need you to think cute, be cute, are cute. You understand? Okay, cool. And she's all set. A minimum. Gone. Perfect. She's nothing but drama anyway. Madness, I tell you. Madness. I apologize about the interruption there. I got another phone call. Unfortunately, I did forget about an earlier engagement I was supposed to be doing today, so I'm going to have to get ready for this. Yeah, I guess. Well, not a lot of people do, but that's not why I do it. I am going to go ahead and get ready to get out of here then, guys. I do have another engagement I have to get over to, and it's been a lot of fun hanging out. I did want to run this out to about 3 hours, but we're going to have to cut it just a little bit short. So I'm going to get ready to get out of here. It's been a pleasure hanging out with everybody. Yep, Tom is from the Netherlands, Sid. We got people from the UK, the Netherlands, Australia, hanging out a lot from there, all over the place. So I'm going to get ready to get out of here, guys. It was a pleasure hanging out with you for a couple hours today. I'll be back tomorrow for my usual live stream, usually between the hours of 12 and 2 Central Standard Time. So please plan accordingly if you'd like to come back, and we'll be happy to see you again. It was my pleasure. Thank you so much, everybody. You guys take it easy, and it's been a pleasure of you wasting some of your life with me. Thank you so much. Bye.